my bad.
I like when you like this, Daddy. I like that.
He told me he'd take me shopping. What'd you just say?
He said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What?
Got nothing against some of them that can rap, but I care about us more. I don't want to go through, I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want to...
You are happy 24/7. That is a lie.
Chill.
There aren't that many moments that capture pure chaos, unfiltered drama, and outright insane moments in hip-hop history. But these rappers' interviews were crazy. And this was the case when Birdman joined the Breakfast Club. See, Birdman had a bit of an issue with Charlamagne himself. And of course, Birdman being Birdman, he immediately let Charlamagne know about it.
Sir, I want to start this shit off straight, telling all three of y'all stop playing with my name.
Let's go on there, let's go.
Stop playing with my name.
After sitting down, Birdman once again reiterated his point.
My name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
Angela's face after that only exemplified how everyone in the room was feeling at the moment. But when the interview officially began, Charlamagne asked Birdman why he was so angry, and Birdman pretty much remained hostile and aggressive.
We got a special guest in the building.
He done cursed us out. Tell him, get it off your chest, Birdman.
Said it already. I ain't gotta talk.
Birdman then escalated the situation by saying he could have pulled up on Charlamagne at any time, anywhere, but he chose to confront him during the interview because apparently it wouldn't be gangster to pull up on him anywhere else.
I wanted to talk to you on your man in your face.
Absolutely.
You understand me? I knew a few places you was at. I could have pulled up, but I don't think that was gangster.
I mean, Birdman just straight up admitted he planned on actually putting a hit on Charlamagne.
I wanted to come look you in your face like a man and tell you how I feel.
Okay.
You understand me? Straight up like a man.
So what's the issue?
No sugar. Ain't no issue. If it was an issue, you'll feel me. I just come to let y'all know, stop, put some respect on my name.
Birdman even took his glasses off to let them know he was serious. But all things considered, it's great Birdman chose to check Charlamagne in public and in his own house on the Breakfast Club instead of anywhere private, because who knows what he would have done then. However, the real reason Birdman was so mad was just before this interview happened, the Breakfast Club interviewed Rick Ross and Trick Daddy. And during both of those interviews, they would call out Birdman for how he treats his artists, particularly Cash Money's main moneymaker, Lil Wayne. So Charlamagne got the gist that Birdman was pissed because Ross and Trick called him out on their radio show, and he brought up this interesting point.
Did you pull up on Ross that way or Trick Daddy?
Man, I'm pulling up on you.
Yeah, but I'm the radio guy. Why pull up on the radio guy? Don't act tough with the radio guy.
Which was actually a valid question. Interestingly enough, Birdman didn't answer this question at all. Rick Ross and Trick Daddy were the ones who called him out, so why not confront them instead of the radio show they were on? And apparently this question was too much for Birdman because after this, he promptly left the interview, cutting it short. However, before he walked out, he left this now iconic line.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
Charlamagne would then dub this moment as the
"That's it, quickest Breakfast Club interview ever."
Shortly after, this video went viral. Birdman may not have thought this whole thing was funny, but everyone else certainly did. The next walkout happened during Adam 22's No Jumper podcast. You see, Cuban Doll, an infamous female rapper, showed up for an interview with Adam 22 for what may have seemed like a run-of-the-mill No Jumper episode. However, what no one expected was that this interview was going to be nothing but dramatic. From the moment Cuban Doll arrived on the set, it wasn't long before things started to fall apart. Right from the get-go, she was speaking barely above a whisper, making it hard for anyone to even catch what she was saying.
You gotta be more specific with me.
When I look
I
at
dropped out of school early.
you dropped out of school early?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what we're
A
talking
little
about.
off.
You're a little off.
And despite Adam trying his best to keep things flowing, Cuban seemed out of sync with the entire situation, and she also seemed out of touch with the reality during the interview. This led to many fans speculating that she may have been under the influence during the interview, though nothing was ever confirmed.
God, that mic is a real thing. It's either way too sensitive or not enough.
You need to get your shit together.
I don't know. I think it's your weird, like, varied tone. Like, you go from really loud to really quiet.
However, the mood of the interview changed when Adam poked around Cuban's relationship status.
Your relationship status right now?
My relationship status. I'm in a relationship.
With who? I just wish this mic would pick you up better.
But that's not all. Adam also tried to ask whether she got back with her ex-boyfriend, Tato, Chief Keef's best friend, and someone she had previously accused of doing some very heinous things to her.
Is it Tato?
No.
Why not? What happened? Can you turn her mic up? Kind of having a hard time picking her up.
Naturally, this was a sensitive topic for Cuban, especially since she had only spoken about these allegations a few months before the interview. Cuban would eventually say she was just in a relationship with the guy at the moment, but he was anonymous and didn't have clout.
It just needs to be more sensitive. Who's your boyfriend?
My boyfriend is anonymous.
He's anonymous?
Yeah.
No clout?
No clout.
No clout. Shut up.
He regular.
Adam quickly countered that he could never see her in a relationship with the person with no clout due to her dating history.
I don't think I could see you being with a guy like that.
Why not?
Because every guy I've seen you associated with seems
Oh
like...
my God.
What? Oh, that's
It's with the fake news.
No.
Now, throughout this interview, Adam had a hard time picking up anything Cuban was saying, so he and his sound guys kept adjusting the sensitivity of Cuban's microphone, which led to this exchange between the two.
That mic is a real thing. It's either way too sensitive or not enough.
You need to get y'all together.
I don't know. I think it's your weird, like, varied tone. Like, you go from really loud to really quiet.
After this, Cuban insisted on wrapping up the interview, even though they were only 16 minutes in, signaling that she was pretty much done with the whole thing.
So
let's wrap it up then.
In Cuban's defense, she did try to get this interview back in line by saying she wanted to talk about her music, which was the reason she came there in the first place.
I'm dropping new music.
When?
That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about music.
That's great. Let's talk about music.
But not even 16 minutes into the interview, Cuban already wanted to wrap things up.
So
let's wrap it up then.
Wrap it up? You want to finish this already? This is like 16 minutes or something.
Okay, we need to cut it actually.
However, Adam wanted to get his money's worth, so he tried to push the conversation more. And this is where he tried to get something juicy.
Cut it. I want to know more about Cuban Doll, man. You're so evasive.
Further into the interview, Adam raised a specific question about the viral lyrics from Tato's song, which had become a meme at the time. He asked Cuban if she felt accountable for any of the traction the meme gained, considering the song's timing and the public's perception of a relationship with Tato.
Okay, let me just throw this out there before we even get to the music thing.
You just want to be messy one last time.
Yeah. Shorty know I kill people. Real people.
Okay.
You feel responsible for that meme?
The timing of Adam's question about Tato and the people she had worked with hit a nerve. It became clear that this wasn't a topic she was willing to discuss. When Adam asked this sensitive question, Cuban seemed stunned and visibly taken back. She paused and then, with a quick, decisive gesture, told Adam she was done with the interview.
Oh, yeah. No? You don't want to talk about that?
We done.
We're done?
Yeah.
You taking the headphones off? Why? You don't like that song?
Adam couldn't believe it at first, and he even jokingly said that the walkout would be the title of the video.
Is she really gonna leave? Is this a real walkout? Because now we get the title that Cuban Doll walks out of the No Jumper interview. Ooh, it's going down. You mad at me?
Adding to the drama, Cuban took some items with her as she left, which Adam later clarified were not his, but likely belonged to another rapper, Skinny from the Nine.
She took our purple backwoods. Those weren't even ours. I think those are Skinny from the Nines.
As the camera kept rolling, Adam reflected on the questions he had asked, noting that he had been careful not to mention certain off-limit topics, including her cage incident, which was a specific topic Cuban previously mentioned to avoid.
I don't understand how she got mad. I didn't even mention the cage.
But looking back, it's pretty clear that this interview quickly became less about Cuban Doll's music and more about escalating the tension between the two. If you thought that was bad, Kodak's appearance on Hot 97 was even harder to watch. Ebro was terrible with the guest and pretty much destroyed the vibe of the whole thing.
Yo, man, first of all, I gotta be honest, I was skeptical on doing this interview. I saw your other interviews where you was wearing like a ski mask and all that, and I was like, I'm not really interested in talking to this.
Ebro then proceeded to bring some of the legal cases Kodak had been involved in. However, he didn't react negatively to any of these early on.
And I know it's sensitive, but how you feel about everything that's going on?
I got big wings, so you know what I'm talking about? The devil be on my heels, but I got big wings, you know what I'm talking about?
After this, it just looked like it would be a normal interview. They talked about music, Kodak's success in the industry, working with Cardi B, and more. It wasn't until the very end when things would start to go sour after Ebro said this.
Look, man, at this point, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. You know, looking at all your cases and everything you've been through, and I know the recent one right now is very sensitive. And with respect to, you know, everybody involved in that case, you know, we can't get into details today.
And to anyone unaware of what was unfolding, what Ebro was referring to here was Kodak's SA case, which was filed in 2016 and was still an open case during the time of this interview. Acknowledging the gravity of the case, Ebro went on to say,
but you know, we take sexual assault here serious, and we can't, you know, get into details, but we hope, you know, to have you back so we can have a deeper conversation about that, because, you know, this is a serious topic and we're hearing these stories a lot.
Kodak just stared at Ebro blankly after this without even saying a thing. In hopes of diverting the topic into something more lighthearted, Rosenberg casually and randomly asked Kodak's opinion on whether or not he thought the moon landing was fake.
One thing we were talking about on the show today that for some reason I just have a hunch that you would care about is the idea that landing on the moon was a conspiracy. Kodak, do you believe that our moon landing in 1969 actually took place?
What the fuck y'all talking about?
Despite everyone's delight here, Kodak wasn't laughing. Ebro addressed his displeasure by asking if he was upset he brought up the essay, to which Kodak responded with,
Sometimes when niggas like we going through shit, like y'all be entertained by bullshit. You know what I'm talking about?
After this, Kodak told everyone to change the subject, otherwise he would walk out. But it seems at this point, Kodak wasn't the only one who was upset.
It was like, change the subject, I'm finna walk out.
We'll change which subject?
Just whatever, like.
Well, no, they tried to change the subject. They was talking about the moon landing.
That's bull too. So talk about something else.
Well, I was saying, I think...
We don't have to talk about nothing else. We could be done right here.
All right, I'm going. Say less.
Well, that's a bummer.
I don't know. People don't tell me what to talk about on my show.
As Kodak was walking out, you could clearly hear Ebro say he wasn't going to let others tell him what to do on his own show, which is why when Kodak threatened to leave, Ebro didn't even bother stopping him. The next rapper we're going to talk about is also a podcaster himself, Joe Budden. Joe Budden is known for asking hard questions and really getting into the meat of certain topics. However, when he went on Hot 97, he found himself on the other end of the questioning line, getting asked about personal beefs and issues instead of music, which is what he was there to promote.
All right, so first things first. Joe, Drake. It all started, you wanted to motivate Drake for bars. That's how the whole thing started.
Who cares?
No, but we gotta, I wanna recap it.
We've done this every day for however many months now. Y'all recapped it every day. Y'all know what happened. Let's talk about it.
With former podcast co-host Marissa Mendez, who, by the way, was in the room with them.
We're gonna talk about Marissa Mendez now. Somebody that has supported you.
Mendez alert.
Somebody who's been there for you. And that out of the blue, because of something she didn't do, you text her, you're fired. Then I call you like, yo, you can't fire Marissa Mendez. Call her. She didn't do nothing. And you never called her.
Nah.
And then you want to go out and act like she opted to just not be on the program.
Now, there's definitely something personal going on here on Ebro's part. Not only is he just asking for an answer, but the way Ebro is speaking makes it seem like he has a real personal issue with Joe, beyond just normal colleague spats, especially with lines like these.
I know you want to get up here and act like you can outdo me on this radio thing, but
it's your show, so
Ebro didn't insist on the topic around Marissa's firing though. He acknowledged Marissa, then proceeded to ask her former employer why she was fired in front of her.
Why'd you kick her off the podcast?
I did not kick her off of the podcast.
What happened?
And listen, it was time to go different ways.
That's some corporate bullshit.
Now, Joe did manage to maintain a calm demeanor throughout all of this, and he'd do his best to revert the topic to his album.
I'm getting confused. I just want to promote my album. I don't care.
You really thought you were going to come here, we were just going to straight promote the album, not talk about the elephant in the room?
It wasn't the elephant in the room.
But it is for us.
Eventually though, Joe had enough of all of that. He admitted that the whole thing threw him off guard, only for Ebro to point out once again that he's ... better at this radio thing than he is.
Well, y'all threw me off now.
You said
you was too busy trying to dance. I told you can't outdance me, man.
I said I listened to Peter's rant multiple times on 718, and now I'm dancing.
After this, Joe finally expressed how the whole situation made him feel and how unobjective the interview was.
I don't think that you guys are able to have an objective conversation, number one. Number two, this podcast conversation is not a conversation I care to have, especially not early in the morning. Number three, if Peter and or Marissa feel away, then there are other mediums for that to be discussed if it's going to be discussed at all.
Then Joe pointed out how little they actually talked about his album, despite it being the reason for him being there.
Next time I come here for an interview, send my manager the talk points. I didn't know that this would be an utter complete waste of time.
You should have known that. That's crazy.
No, it was not a waste of time.
We talked about Drake for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Then we talked about the album for 30
we played
seconds,
your song.
And then we talked about Marissa and Peter.
Ebro and Peter's response to this was very sarcastic and unprofessional, using fallacies just to mock Joe.
You want to talk about beats? You want to talk about snares and hi-hats?
I want you to talk about something compelling.
You want me to pull A-Rab up and talk about the Renaissance, the MPC Renaissance?
Yo, what software you want, A-Rab?
You like the 3000
Let's
or
talk
you like
software.
the Renaissance? Which one? You got the new plugins?
You got the new plugins? Yo, A-Rap, you got the new plugins? It's lit.
Yo, the bar you spit. Yo, this pattern you used.
Hey, yo, rap fans, by the way, Ebro's mocking you.
Realizing he was about to get nothing out of this interview, Joe calmly thanked everyone in the room.
I want to thank all of you for your time. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Peter. And thank you, Ebro. Thank you, Board Guy, for the sound effects. Thank you, Deani.
Damn,
Shawnee. Cameraman.
Super producer Shawnee.
Super producer
Shawnee, dude.
No, fuck that. Thank you, Boardman, with your little fucking effects.
That was Roseburg. That's right there.
After the niceties, Joe stood up, shook the men's hands, and hugged the woman in the room. He then walked out.
What should we have covered?
I don't know. That's y'all job to talk about. It's y'all job to figure out. I don't do a morning show. I do a podcast.
Facts. You could have had a morning show.
And you did have a morning show.
You did.
At some point, there was a morning show. I remember.
Oh, I helped you with that. When you used to lay under the cabinet right here. I used to help you.
Bye, Joey.
Peace.
Be good, man.
Yeah, we'll talk more album time.
Thank you.
Continue, man. You good?
No group picture.
No, we won't.
To Joe's credit, he endured Ebro's and Peter's shenanigans for almost 40 minutes before walking out. He never lost his cool. He sure got mad, but instead of lashing out, he kept his composure and left before things got worse. However, that wasn't the only time Joe Budden visibly showed his struggles during an interview. In fact, this time, Joe even got frustrated on camera, almost to the point of being physical. The 2017 BET Awards red carpet saw one of hip-hop's most infamous interview clashes when Joe Budden, DJ Academics, and the Migos were brought together for a segment. The scene began with DJ Academics attempting to address a long-standing joke with Takeoff regarding his role on the Migos breakout track, Bad and Bougie. Academics asked,
I feel like there's like a running joke with you being left off Bad and Bougie.
To which Takeoff, already appearing slightly annoyed, replied,
I ain't left off Bad and Bougie. You think I'm left off Bad and Bougie?
Say again?
You say I'm left off Bad and Bougie?
What'd you say?
And it didn't help that Academics couldn't hear what Takeoff was saying. It just added tension.
You say I'm left off Bad and Bougie?
Yeah.
Do it look like I'm left off Bad and Bougie?
What'd you say?
Do it look like I'm left off Bad and Bougie?
Nah. I mean, that's one thing I like about the group.
Academics quickly sensed the uncomfortable vibe, attempting to smooth over any tension by commending the group's unity and success despite occasional separation.
Because ever since when you were in jail, even though you might see one or the other, y'all move as a collective.
But Joe Budden seemed entirely uninterested in the connection that Academics was trying to establish with the Migos. Budden was visibly disconnected, his expression cold and uninterested, hinting that he'd rather wrap up the interview than engage with the Migos.
All right, we gotta wrap this up though.
My bad.
Quavo, another member of the Migos, instantly recognized Budden's disrespectful tone and responded,
You trying to jump?
I couldn't
wrap
hear
it up
anything
then.
over there too. Close it.
Close it.
Hey, listen, man. I wish I could talk to the Migos longer, man. It's one of my favorite groups.
This abrupt statement surprised both the Migos and Academics as it cut short their moment. But despite the uncomfortable exchange, Academics tried to salvage the situation by expressing his admiration for the Migos. However, Joe Budden seemed unimpressed, and instead, he dropped his mic and walked off without a word.
I've been covering for so long. I'm glad they succeeded, man.
Hey man, you guys are nominated tonight. Have a good show.
This sudden and blatant show of disrespect led to a standoff between the Migos and Joe Budden.
Wait. No. Wait.
Where's our security guard?
The moment Budden walked away, the entire Migos crew rose to their feet, prepared to confront him.
Where's our security guard?
Chill.
This vibe quickly became intense. Members of the Migos and their entourage closed in, making it clear that they would not let Budden's disrespect slide. Academics, caught in the middle, was visibly compromised as he tried to de-escalate the situation. However, the beef didn't end on the BET Awards red carpet. Following the incident, Joe Budden addressed what happened on this podcast, sharing his view on the Migos. He claimed,
I think I can take 2.5 of Migos by myself.
but he didn't stop there. He even took shots at Academics, saying,
Academics is one of the biggest pussies I've ever seen in my entire life. But he should never comment on anything that has to do with physicality.
After the incident, a lot of people might have told Joe Budden that the Migos are not to play with.
This is also the gun era, by the way.
I'm not
Everyone
familiar.
got a Draco. They don't want to fight.
So that's what everybody's telling me about Migos.
However, in his mind, they were just young kids that don't know better.
Apparently everybody views Migos as very tough guys. I must not be that familiar with their music. I still look at them like the kids. How old are they?
But that's not the last time Joe Budden got heated with a young rapper, as he would again more or less embarrass himself in another interview. But this time, Joe would completely lose his cool. In May of 2017, Lil Yachty came to the show to promote his new album. Budden and Academics sat down with Yachty to discuss his career and personal life at first. However, the interview quickly took a turn when Budden shifted the conversation from music to a surprisingly personal question, asking Yachty if he was truly happy.
I don't care about the business part. I care about how Yachty feels.
Well, I'm telling you how I feel.
You're giving
happy
me
every day.
Wait, say that again.
Happy. I'm happy every day because life is moving in such a positive way. I can't get slowed down.
But for Budden, his answers didn't sit right. He doubted that Yachty was genuinely happy, claiming it was just a media-trained response. According to Budden,
maybe he has been media trained. This is a very media trained answer that I'm getting.
It's not a media trained
answer. All right, so let me respond to what you're saying.
It's just how I am.
Okay, let me tell you about how humans are.
Lil Yachty tried explaining his happiness by comparing his past life to his new one. He described how his life turned around from him being a broke college student.
When you come from a college dorm room with no money, okay, you scamming credit cards.
Which is all college dorm rooms.
And you ain't getting no play with no girls, you have no clothes, you have no car, and you come to having 3-4 cars, you got millions of dollars, $500,000 on your body just to wear, and any kind of clothes you want, any hoes you want. How could you be upset?
For him, this drastic life change was enough of a reason to feel happy, but this only seemed to escalate Budden's frustration. Things got even more intense when Budden asked Yachty a deeper question. What did he actually want from hip-hop? Yachty, laid back as ever, seemed to really not know what the right answer to Joe's question was.
I don't know. I mean...
You don't think that's a question you should answer at some point?
What do I want from hip-hop?
Or are you leaving all of this to QC to figure out?
Nah.
Because to him, he was simply enjoying himself while making music.
I mean, I'm making music, bro. I'm just having fun. I'm saying my fans love it.
You're gonna have a problem with just having fun and fun.
However, Budden saw this as a problem. He warned Yachty.
You're gonna have a big problem with just having. You don't sound like you very aware with what's going on, and you one of the hottest niggas on earth.
But what do you want me to say? You want me to say?
From Budden's point of view, he wanted Yachty to know the importance of understanding his business and the culture that changed his life.
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm rooms eating oodles and noodles.
At this point, Budden was already furious, and you could even see him turn red.
I want you who's well-spoken and articulates himself well.
But Yachty kept his cool, responding calmly.
My nigga, chill.
Yeah, hold up.
While Budden's intensity remained at an all-time high. In the end, this intense discussion showed a generational gap in how the two approached hip-hop. For Budden, this industry was serious business. For Yachty, it was a creative outlet and a chance to enjoy life. In a lot of cases, it's understandable for an interviewer to leave prematurely because of how out of pocket the interviewer can be. But that doesn't seem to be the case with our next walkout, because all Bootleg Kev did was ask ESTG about his football background.
I've seen this picture of you at the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
Which...
What? Yeah, I ain't seen no picture of no NFL Combine.
Well, I saw you in like the NFL Combine looking like workout.
Yeah, like a workout.
Was that just a workout you were doing for a team?
I don't know. How you see the picture? You ain't read the article that came with it?
I just saw a YouTube video where they were talking about you and like I was just watching some of your high school highlights in your college.
Now, this definitely was a harmless question on Bootleg Kev's part. He was even praising ESTG for how good he was back then. See, ESTG was a college football player for Indiana State University, and he was such a good linebacker that he was a genuine NFL prospect. However, his football career would grind to a halt after he got caught for drug trafficking.
And I was like, damn, this dude was a beast. You played linebacker, right?
What do that got to do with music and shit right now?
No, I'm just curious because I'm a big football fan. So like, I'm just like, I'm a huge football fan, and I find it fascinating that like you really like have like a real high level like football run, you know what I'm saying, before the rap shit like took off. So.
But ESTG would remain dismissive of the topic, insisting that his football career has nothing to do with his current music career. Noticing that his guest was uncomfortable, Kev tried to revert the interview back towards music, asking ESTG about the time he got signed. But the problem was, before he could even finish his question, ESTG had already left.
I remember when you signed with Gotti. I remember the viral moment where there was just all this cash, and at that time I feel like there was like a bidding war going on for ESTG at that moment. One, what made you rock with Gotti, and what is something over the last 2 or 3 years that you have learned?
Even Kev himself looked bewildered by ESTG's walkout. He then closed the whole interview by saying that this was a first in Bootleg podcast history.
Well, for the very first time in Bootleg podcast history, we had someone walk off of the set. Interesting. Oh, well, there's the ESTG interview that he was 2 hours late for.
Baffling indeed. Who knows why ESTG reacted the way he did? Maybe the fact that he never made it to the NFL because he got arrested is way too of a touchy subject for him. Or maybe he was just having a bad day. To most, it was a pretty tame question, all things considered. But hey, at least it didn't escalate into anything worse. Now, while some interviewers ask harmless questions and some outright fish for controversial statements, some are just outright playful. Like with our next walkout scenario. During an interview with Off the Porch, 607 Unc talked about a lot of outrageous things, such as the Illuminati and country music.
I was connected with the Illuminati.
Oh my
The Illuminati?
Yes.
Yes, I swear to God, my mama.
So the Illuminati is real?
Yes, it's real.
What you mean you used to be connected? I don't think you could leave the Illuminati.
Listen, I'm the first person to leave. I made the ultimate sacrifice. And I got out the Illuminati. So I'm the first person that can speak about it. Yeah, I sacrificed my son.
Because of this feat, 607 Unc then claimed to be.
So I'm half Illuminati and half street.
Unc also claimed to have written Nelly's Country Grammar. In fact, he says Country Grammar is the very reason why he left the Illuminati.
Why'd you leave the Illuminati then?
Because I wrote Country Grammar, first of all.
Wait, Nelly?
Yes, I wrote
Country Grammar.
He laughing. He thinks it's a joke.
The Diamond Song.
I swear to God, my mom, I wrote Country Grammar.
Considering Country Grammar came out in 2000, the interviewer was then prompted to ask how old 607 Unc was, which led to this hilarious outburst.
So, wait a minute, how old are you, Unc? You wrote Country Grammar?
Tell him how old you is, huh?
Listen, as long as I've been on this show.
No.
Look. I've been on this show, so I watched this show a lot of times, right? I ain't never saw you ask no motherfucking body how old they is. You know what I'm saying? You must try to embarrass me. But listen, I'm old enough to fuck your mama and rich enough to fuck your bitch. I'm out of this bitch. Now you finish this shit.
Now, this entire interview is 37 minutes long. 607 Unc walked out 9 minutes in. Weirdly, he did come back before the interview ended, but only to shout out Nelly and to say he's never coming back to the show again. The next rapper we're going to talk about is a man who needs no introduction and an unsurprising entry into this video, Kanye West. Kanye West's interviews have always given off chaotic vibes, just like when he spoke with Piers Morgan in 2022 about a range of topics, including his apparent heritage.
I actually am a person that's classified as black. You know, I classify myself as Jew.
His divorce with Kim Kardashian.
Just to clarify one thing though, you are actually divorced, are you? Because my understanding was that you weren't actually divorced yet.
You know, I ask God the same question some mornings. Am I divorced, God?
Being censored by Western media.
In American media, it's very censored. It feels like an episode of Black Mirror a lot of times.
And oh, so much more. Throughout this whole interview, Kanye kept reprimanding Piers Morgan for apparently constantly interrupting him and not letting him finish his sentences.
I know.
Okay,
I know what you said about. I know Candace.
I'm gonna finish. La la.
It's all right.
La.
You don't
Okay,
have
you
to
know
do
what
that.
means.
It's
That
fine.
means
I know what it means.
La 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 means be quiet and let me finish.
Right, but you did interrupt my question.
So
this would happen again.
You can't tell me with your accent that me as an American Jew black person that I cannot question that deaf and question the means he had. That was put on camera.
I'm not saying you
to
can't
traumatize. I'm not finished. La 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 means let me finish.
Okay.
I'm not finished talking.
Even Piers Morgan got on Kanye's little interruption song when Kanye interrupted him.
Let me just put this to you.
So no. You're trying to avoid.
No. La 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 la. To put quite a phrase. You're interrupting me now.
I'm gonna get back to it.
All right.
And believe me, la 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 was used more times during this interview. Later on though, when Piers Morgan interrupted Kanye while he was explaining how predatory contracts can be in Hollywood, he'd become very combative towards Morgan.
Why would any of that?
Bro, I ain't finished. I ain't finished my sentence.
Nothing you're saying has anything to do with regret.
Hey, boy.
Don't call me boy.
Don't finish. I told you. Oh, don't treat me like a boy then. I'm going to finish my sentence of my idea.
Nothing you're saying has got anything to do with the tweet.
Cool. Bro, I was in the middle of a sentence, boy. Okay, so are you going to allow me to finish my sentence?
Kanye was so ticked off here, he didn't even use his La 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 song anymore. After he finally finished making his point here, Kanye promptly left, leaving Piers Morgan somewhat bewildered.
Looking at all of these contracts together, after that moment happens, then I will say, I'm sorry.
Okay, if that's your position.
That's clear. Interview adjourned. Love you.
Okay. That's the end of the interview.
Behind the scenes, Morgan's team did their best to get Kanye back, and he did. But it seems like he made his point. On the other hand, the next rapper that ended up leaving in the middle of an interview is rap legend 50 Cent. While promoting his new TV show, For Life, 50 Cent was interviewed by Speedy Mormon. However, instead of asking about the show, Speedy asked about 50's beef with French Montana.
Sure, 50, I guess I'll get you out on this. It seems as though it all started with playful banter. It still seems that way to me, but what's up with French? Are you guys cool? Are you not cool?
50 answered the question by saying he has no interest in the topic or in French Montana himself. I mean, can you blame him? But Speedy Mormon continued to ask more questions about this beef.
There was rumors that you snuffed him in a club in Miami or something. Is there any truth to any of that?
No, there's no truth to that.
Okay.
50 somewhat took offense to the situation, but Speedy's next comment was the one that urged him to just get out of there.
Would I do a thing like that?
I don't know, Phil. I wouldn't put it past you.
Why would you think that way? Would you think Will Smith would do that?
I
can't believe you would say these things about me.
I'm not saying them about you. The internet said these things.
Would you? I think this guy right here would assault French Montana.
50 didn't leave without imparting a piece of wisdom to the interviewer though. Before the interview ended, 50 just said, "Do not let my inner peace disturb your inner demons." That's a hard quote right there. On the other hand, sometimes they don't necessarily walk out, sometimes they get thrown out. And we can't forget this Krishan Rock incident. At one point in the interview, Krishan was visibly frustrated, and she openly expressed it, saying,
"Oh, it's sensitive.
I think I'm gonna finish.
What you playing for?
I think I'm gonna finish.
If you're not,
You wanna do it by yourself?
what do you mean? Do it by
I'm gonna do it. I'm
myself.
gonna do it.
Are you looking at me?
As the back and forth intensified, Blueface started to get annoyed and wanted her to be taken off the show.
No, take her outside. Take her outside. Take her outside. You. I don't speak for you. Right. That's what you said the whole interview. I don't speak for you. So now you're cut. Like, bro, close the blinds. Bro, close the blinds. Take her outside if you got to.
Her frustrations boiled over, leading to the host to insist her to leave the set since the tensions in the room reached a boiling point. The tensions continued to rise and the situation only escalated further when others attempted to intervene. One of the hosts, Sharp, expressed that Krishan was too drunk to be on the interview, saying,
"There ain't nobody trying to grab your woman, ever like people trying to just be respectful. You'll still be able to talk and assess the situation, but right now, yeah, I just think it's best that it just she off that Hennessy, man."
While all this was happening, Krishan kept pleading to Blueface to aid to her attention.
Can you come here? No! No, kid!
Unfortunately, things got even more ugly since Krishan basically had to be carried out, even kicking a TV along the way.
Come here! Hey, come here, bro! What are you like? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Everything was just super chaotic. A clash of personalities, misunderstandings, and mounting tension ultimately led to Krishan's removal from the set. However, sometimes walking out on interviews might be the better option, rather than confessing something you shouldn't have on camera. The first set of rappers we're going to talk about are the ones who snitched on themselves or made very disturbing confessions in very public interviews, starting with FBG Duck, who revealed very disturbing details about how he may have been involved in the killing of O.D. Perry.
My shit get brought up in documentaries, et cetera, because we stand on business. I'm with the handlers, they handle that. Them handle shit, them bitches. I don't even mean to call them them female, they handle shit.
And with this proof of credibility, Budda goes on to accuse O-Block of killing FBG Duck and how stupid they are for showcasing the murder in an interview.
The female that she's with, she hit 2 of them. Moonwalk bullet.
Damn.
Hit Skitch's neck, right?
Damn.
Was in the wall. Zia bullet hit his hand, he dropped his blick. These told on themselves. And they did an interview on top of the murder cop. You stupid fucks.
What about the picture that
Take
went?
me to jail. Give me the cups.
Yo, Budda, what
I'll
about
take
the
it,
what
yeah.
about the
However, later on, FBG Budda would say something that was so indicting that his associate would try and hold him down and reprimand him for saying too much.
I'm Budda, Sean. I'm Budda, Sean. Now picture me sitting on top of a fucking car that I just killed OD on. I got J Main them in this. I got 4 of them in this. They in this. They didn't kill the nigga. I just got some attention.
During that little tirade there, Budda essentially hinted that he shot and killed O.D. Perry. Now, let's go back to 2023, when a guy named Anton Bennett was shot and killed in a gas station in Chicago. Surveillance footage shows a group of young men getting out of a Dodge Durango and shooting at Anton before speeding off. Now, why are we talking about this random killing all of a sudden? Well, the answer is simple. Because the thing is that some talking heads in the hip hop community think this shooting may be tied to rapper Von Off 1700. who frequently talks about offing his ops in interviews and songs. He even hinted at committing some heinous crimes during a No Jumper interview, which led many to believe that Benoit was one of his victims.
We is killing the ops for. I don't get no fuck. We is killing their ass for. So tell them we is killing them for. That's what we doing to the ops for. When they die, look at us.
And when Adam tried to give Vaughn a chance to say it wasn't him personally who was responsible for the killings, Vaughn insisted that he himself was personally involved with them.
We, team, whatever you want to call it, we is killing their ass.
Vaughn also talked about having a stolen type of car that is no longer being made, like a Dodge Durango, the same vehicle Benoit's shooters used the day he died.
And the cars we be stealing is some of the cars I don't even get in no more. Like RT Durangos, I don't get in them cars no more.
Now gangs usually use stolen cars during drive-bys so that the killing can't be traced back to them. And Vaughn talking about stealing Durangos when that was the exact same vehicle that was seen in the surveillance footage is a crazy connection. However, the most damning evidence against Vaughn was when people realized one of the shooters wore the exact same clothes Vaughn had been seen wearing on his social media accounts. Both Vaughn and the shooter wore the same shiesty mask, black hoodie, and ripped jeans. The shooter even wore glasses, just like Vaughn does. Now, this next rapper's case of self-snitching doesn't involve murder or anything like that. In fact, it was most probably beneficial that this rapper spoke so publicly about this matter, as it probably had a hand in saving his life. On an episode of Off the Record, Kodak Black spoke with DJ Academics, where he aired out many of his experiences from rehab and addiction in general. During this interview, Kodak got candid about his addiction to meth.
Me and Stevie, like, we were eating ice back then, boy. You know what I'm saying? We on ice back then, wide open, fried out here. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like ice, like
regular ice.
Milk. Like shit like that, cause you know niggas were popping mollies and shit like that, but it ain't like on no shit where a base or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Got way more money than a lot of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Hoes,
When DJ Academics asked to clarify if Kodak was talking about meth, Kodak just said it was all in his past.
Yo, but wait, so is it like or whatever? Like,
see, but I don't see, that was like way back then.
Kodak also talked about his heavy perk addiction during a No Jumper interview, where he admitted to popping about 100 pills a day.
100 pills a day sounds like a lot.
You was exaggerating when you said 100 pills, or you for real like on 100 pills a day?
Kodak was definitely exaggerating here, but he definitely popped a lot of pills on the daily at one point in time. Later on, Kodak talked about his addictions on his Instagram, saying how that whole thing could have definitely killed him if the feds didn't catch on to his addiction. Well, at least Kodak's self-snitching has a silver lining. Now, let's talk about a rapper we've already discussed here, FYB J Mane, because during an interview with Say Cheese, J Mane claimed that Tay Savage avenged a 2010 drive-by that hospitalized him and killed his friend, Anthony Welch. The suspected shooters of this drive-by are also known as Princess Streeter or Cess or Neef, members of a rival gang. When they were killed a year later, many believe Tay was responsible, including J Mane. He even calls him John Wick.
Like this, y'all call him Tay Sav, bro. I call him John Wick. Let's start there. The situation with him allegedly killing Blazing Dog Mama, shit, I know he killed that girl mama.
And when asked if what he was doing then was considered snitching, J Mane justified his snitching since Tay himself has talked about killing Cess and Neef in an interview.
Is this considered snitching or nah?
Yes, this is snitching, yes. But it hit different on how you snitch. He came out with the story first, bro. He just did a whole 16-shot interview. So you ask him, I snitching? Hell no, I ain't snitching. He already said that. He already said all this information that I'm saying right now. It's already out.
Despite J Mane saying that, Tay actually never admitted to that crime. He just talked about the case and how he beat it, but never did say he killed them as J Mane suggested. So yeah, he was basically snitching on Tay. Our next self-snitcher is Kasher Quan, a scam rapper from Detroit, and a character who is very candid about his scamming. While speaking with Say Cheese, Kasher Quan would boast about scamming a guy over 200 times in a span of 2 years, which caused the guy to lose his wife and his job, essentially destroying his entire life.
I scammed this man 200 times, no over exaggeration, 200 times, like for 2 years straight. He lost his job, his wife divorced him. Like, bro, this shit real, bro. Like, this shit is really real. This man lost his wife. He down there tried to slit he went to the hospital and sent me a picture of him trying to, because I'm taking all his cash, bro.
Juan then revealed how he was able to do all of this by pretending to be an IRS agent.
I'm telling him I work for the IRS. You done sent me $20,000 already. The IRS is investigating this. I got his social, so every time I block him for 2 weeks. Soon as he get paid, I'll call him. Like, the IRS just called me and they said it's $2,500 in your bank account. Leave work right now. and send me that, or they finna fuck you up.
Then he revealed the guy he was scamming was a surgeon who was earning 2.5K a week, and Quan was able to dupe this guy's salary for over 2 years.
This man is working at the hospital, Sean, cutting people heart open. A doctor, a real doctor, making $2,500 a week. He like, bro, I'm in the middle of surgery, like, leaving work to go MoneyGram me his whole paycheck, bro.
If this can be proven to be real, then Quan is in for a lot of trouble, because if there's one thing the justice system hates other than murder, fraud, and drugs, it's when you impersonate one of their agents for your own gain, which is why the interviewer tried to cover his back by saying everything Quan has said so far is just alleged rather than factual.
If I see this, I might go to jail. I'm scared to even put this
Allegedly. We gotta say allegedly.
Man.
This whole interview with Quan is just filled with him admitting to a lot of scams on top of the one I just talked about. But hey, as one of the leading artists in scam rap, what more could we expect from him? Of course, this wasn't the only time Kasher Quan talked about scamming people in an interview. He also talked about scamming his own fans, both him and TJX6, his partner in crime at the time.
When I tweeted that 3 weeks ago, a lot of people said that, a lot of people blamed him falling off on him scamming his fans.
Yeah, I used to do that too, but I stopped. I don't do that shit no more. I stopped doing that shit 3 years ago.
When the interviewer asked how they scammed their fans, Quan explained they did it by posting Cash App links.
He just posting Cash Apps and shit, like all the bullshit you see with people posting these Cash Apps. I got a Cash App login with 5,000 on it. Give me $100, shit like that, and then you get 30 people to send you $100. You know what I'm saying? And you just made 3,000 off 30 followers, and you got 600,000 followers. He had 600,000 followers at that time.
When he was asked how much he got scamming fans, he then revealed a shockingly large number.
How much do you think you made scamming your fans?
I ain't gonna lie, probably like, no over exaggeration, bro. Probably like 100,000.
Kasher also said that he didn't want to do that anymore and that he stopped altogether, and he even released a song saying if you were a fan he once scammed in the past, that you should DM him and he'll do right by you.
But it's like, the scamming your followers shit is lame now, dog. Like, I got people, I just dropped a song and shit, and I said in the song, any fan that I ever scammed, DM me right now and tell me how much I scammed you for, and I'm gonna send you your money back. I don't like scamming fans, bro.
Let's just hope Kasher is being sincere here. But not only will this cost him his fans, it could also cost him his freedom. While Kasher has vowed redemption, I don't think we can say the same for our next rapper, Lil Reese. In mid-2023, he hopped on DJ UTV and hinted at popping someone who had appeared on DJ UTV before. This led many people to believe that maybe he was talking about an FBG member, since FBG Budden, along with other FBG members, went on the show a few weeks before Lil Reese came on.
Man, you know you got a lot of goof ass niggas on the couch, man. I've been watching lately, folk.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I ain't gonna say no names. Niggas ain't that important, man.
Anybody you had any interactions with before?
No, I ain't gonna say nothing. They know what's up. I done seen some niggas on this bitch trying to pop before.
FBG Budden came on the show a few weeks after Lil Reese, saying Lil Reese was all talk, calling him a goofy and a fed.
I ain't gonna lie, you know, and Goofy say goofy shit, cause that shit fed as hell when he said on his couch. He federal as on game. But motherfuckers see, I'm a G though. Can't say nothing bad about me, not the ops. For real.
Budden also exposed Reese for saying that he had to move and switch cars after getting shot.
Then you get then they made you move off Wabash on 2nd grade. What, 2-3 weeks later? Lil Brian made you on 2. Him and T Slick, they tweaking. Get on that taco out there. They know what the going on. I ain't gotta say too much on 2, but they know, gang. Had to move, gang. That Grand Pala, they had to switch that bitch out and go get a new car. It's over with. New house, new car was.
Lil Reese didn't really say anything back after that, so maybe he was just capping and got rightly called out. Now, let's talk about a rapper who's known for being proud of his body, Bloodhound Lil Jeff. This Chicago rapper is apparently rumored to have 10 bodies, and for you to be considered a killer, you must at least have 2. Jeff himself has talked about this in an Instagram live.
I'm taking killing school. Class start next week. You gotta at least have 2 bodies though. For I ain't coming with no. You ain't got shit. I can't work with no beginners, folk. You gotta at least have a 2. I'm gonna give y'all 2 minimum.
Bloodhound Lil Jeff seems to have acquired this unspoken rule from a King Von song. And when this was brought up during an interview with DJ UTV, Jeff nodded and confirmed the rule.
Hey, now I heard King Von say in one of his songs, "You not a killer unless you got two bodies."
Exactly. Now you get it.
Damn, so that's real?
Real.
Now, this is very relevant because later on in the interview, Jeff was asked if he's ever experienced his items being stolen from him, and he responded with this.
Have someone ever tried to take like some of your belongings from you?
Now listen, I ain't gonna lie. A nigga did run off on me before. I will tell you that. Did what they did.
What, he zeroed you on the move or something?
Yeah, basically.
That happens to the best of us, right? We all been finesse.
Yeah, it was ran off and it wasn't about shit.
As it turns out, Bloodhound Lil Jeff was talking about Monterio Williams and Robert Boston, two rival gang members who had once stolen watches and jewelry from him. One day, as the two left school, they were both greeted by masked suspects who then opened fire on them. Both victims were pronounced dead when they arrived at the hospital. A few days after the shooting, Lil Jeff went live on Instagram and he slightly hinted at how terrible things can happen when he gets mad while constantly bringing his two fingers up. Lil Jeff also referenced this in his track 333 with the lines, "That guy ran off with them watches, you shoulda knew your time was up, you know that we don't give a fuck." Our next rapper, Boss Top, is known for having a big mouth. And during an interview, not only did he snitch on himself, he snitched on his entire group. See, when FBG Duck passed away after being shot, many immediately blamed O-Block given the hostility between O-Block and FBG. And when Boss Top, an O-Block member, was asked about this, this is what he said.
But you got any like thoughts like on FBG Duck, you know, any thoughts on him? Like, did you know him?
Who, Duck?
Did you know him before, like
no
everything?
Duck like that, I don't know. On game. All I know, don't say Troy or...
With this statement, Boss Top pretty much hinted at how FBG Duck talked shit about T-Roy prior to his death. And before saying anything after this, Top took his time to say rest in peace before mocking FBG Duck once again.
Rest in peace, Duck. Okay, he's like, you got anything about FBG Duck? That's you know what I'm saying? You know, don't say Troy. That's it. Get that guy over there. Boy, don't ever, you know me. Come on, man, don't do that. Don't do that. You know I know that. Stop playing.
In 2024, 6 O-Block members were charged with Duck's murder. And while Boss Top didn't name these guys specifically, his interview just confirmed everyone's suspicions regarding O-Block's involvement in FBG Duck's death. Now, let's move on to the Island Boys, who stirred up the online world after they kissed on camera for clout. The duo went on No Jumper shortly after the uploaded video of them kissing, and Adam22 wasted no time asking what the hell was up.
No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world, and today we got the Island Boys in the building. How you guys doing?
What's up with you, man?
I don't know. I was just seeing you guys making out on Instagram, and I just wanted to find out what the hell was going on.
Adam then gave the Island Boys a chance to explain the kiss, their thought process behind it, and all.
Yeah, so it was kind of unexpected, but we started off by just showing us like with their underwear on Twitter, and they're like, people were like, it was almost like they're like, you guys won't kiss. And I thought about it like for a couple days, and I'm like, wait, that'd be a good idea.
Now, I have no idea what made the Island Boys think, wait, this is a good idea after someone mentioned them making out, but they then justified it by saying it isn't illegal and some religions actually do it.
I did some research on it, like kissing your brother, is it illegal? Is it a problem? Stuff like that. And it's actually not that big of a deal. In some religions, they do it. So yeah, I don't know about making out, but kissing, yeah.
I mean, the secondhand embarrassment just from listening to that is insane. But going back to the interview, Adam then mentioned the repulsiveness of it from a biological standpoint, and just how disgusting the whole thing is overall, which I kind of agree with, respectfully.
Out with them, and it just really sounds unappealing. How did you get over that? Were you disgusted by the idea at first, or how, like I don't even know where to go with this. Like how did you feel about it?
And shout out Adam for keeping a straight face during that question. But as you can expect by now, the Island Boys simply do not know when to keep quiet.
Yeah, we're twin brothers. We came out the womb together. We grew up together. It's not really disgusting if it's twins. Your friend, you don't really know him like that. We're still heterosexual. Yeah. So we still.
Can someone please tell the Island Boys that just because they're twins, that doesn't mean it's okay for them to make out? In fact, that just makes it more repulsive.
We kind of just made out or whatever. We kissed and then we just like looked the other way for a few minutes and couldn't like, you know, look at each other, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Just a kiss.
So it didn't feel
It didn't feel, no, if you don't put too much thought to it, it didn't feel so.
Okay, interesting.
Throughout this revealing interview, it just seemed like the Island Boys PR implicitly told them that throughout their careers, all publicity is good publicity, and they just took it to heart. Now, after this Game of Thrones inspired stunt, the Island Boys did become very, very viral for all the wrong reasons, but they became viral nonetheless. So, mission accomplished, I guess. And that's not the only sexually charged confession I have for you, because our next rapper, JP, also went on No Jumper and confessed to having slept with a guy. This rumor sparked when in mid-2024, an image of him with a dude sitting on top of him leaked and went viral.
So, about like 4 or 5 years ago, I had relations with a young man, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
No Diddy.
No, Diddy, nigga. This shit ain't no motherfucking joke. This is real. Anyways, so it was about like 4 or 5 years ago, right? So like everybody, everybody knew at least like all my niggas and shit, like they all knew, like, but nobody getting no, cause like who gonna do something to me? Yeah. And I was still putting a bit.
So all JP revealed here was that he had relations with another dude before he became famous, pretty much confirming his sexuality. He also talked about how some girl he knew leaked the image.
So everybody was like, like the pictures and shit, they been around type shit. But like as soon as my shit started going viral and I got to name somebody else, a little shorty leaked them.
But the amazing part was that despite gay issues being such a taboo topic in the hip hop community, the whole thing apparently didn't bother JP that much.
What happened was the bitch get the leak, so I get the notified, you know what I'm saying, that she leaked this shit, boom. So I come in her head like all laughing emojis, like I'm laughing like.
And according to JP, it actually helped him boost his career.
And then like 30 minutes later, the snippet to the Bad Bitty music video dropped. Yeah. So it was like this shit, you know what I'm saying, the shit happened right at the perfect time. Yeah. So then like everybody started going viral, like, you know what I'm saying, everybody started posting shit, you know, shit like that.
JP then doubled down later by saying how his name and career went through the roof because of that viral moment. On the other hand, some rappers might not confess, but some are truly unfiltered and raw when they're in front of a camera, which can sometimes make people uncomfortable. And just take a look at Diddy, for instance. But before we start talking about this, pause. It's important to know that the clips that they play in this interview become much more disturbing following Diddy's recent arrest. So anyway, Charlamagne wanted to put Diddy on the spot in this interview. And what better way for the Breakfast Club to do that than play a really out-of-pocket DJ Khaled clip.
Khaled made a comment on the last episode. What did he mean when he said this?
I remember Diddy saying, if you get on your knees.
What was he talking about?
I said, if you get on your knees, you're supposed to cry. If you're singing a song.
Oh, okay.
But Charlamagne's disrespect didn't end there.
We segueing into the Drink Champs interview when you was with Nori and Fab and Jada and everybody. They made a compilation video of you because they said you were sounding real suspect on the interview.
Because before they could move on to another topic, Charlamagne brought up the compilation video that Nor and the other hosts from Drink Champs supposedly made about Diddy saying some sus things in their interview.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Of course, I didn't see it.
Nah, I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I swear to God.
Come on, man. You saw that on World Star and on the gram.
Check this out. When they started playing the game, the pause game.
Despite Diddy denying that he saw the compilation video, Charlamagne kept pressing him and said that he probably saw it somewhere.
I came from Harlem. I definitely would say the crowd would be like, whoa, did he just say that? You know what I'm saying? I don't play games, y'all know. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. I don't play games. But yeah.
Did you
compilation? Nah, I was coming off of being in Miami a night of partying. I don't really remember what I was saying.
When Diddy said that he could not remember most of the stuff he said on Drink Champs, you know Charlamagne was more than happy to replay some of the parts for him. And I'm not gonna lie, Charlamagne is hilarious for doing this.
You know what I'm saying?
Would you like a reminder?
Yeah, sure.
Play some.
Hey, yo, listen, I love it all. I love it all, man.
But when Charlamagne played one clip, Diddy's smile vanished for a moment.
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Where you put my bag?
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
The music mogul looked straight at Charlamagne in disbelief. And of course, Charlamagne pressed them even more because of that. Just take a look at this.
That was you.
Scrambling.
What? You said, I like when you do it like that, Daddy. When you scrambling and scraping for shit.
Hey, man.
I don't know what I was talking about.
Hey. Nah. I mean, I was
you don't go back and look at that stuff and laugh?
it could be funny. I don't really be on it like that. You know what I'm saying?
However, it's a good thing that Diddy just laughed it off. Who knows what Diddy would have done if this were not an interview?
Like,
I'm sure we can put Charlamagne's compilation against Diddy's compilation.
we have a bunch. We put.
Charlamagne.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't do it because I know I'm bad at the game.
From there, it sounded like the interview was starting to steer towards a different topic. Diddy was all smiles, and everyone was laughing too.
I know I say like reckless stuff out my mouth that's just not maybe adding up to with somebody who's homophobic, but I'm not homophobic, and I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I'm bad at the game, and it's probably hilarious. I would love to see it. I would love to see the video compilation.
But instead of continuing to look at the compilation video and just laughing it off, Charlamagne brought up 50 Cent instead. Now, if you don't know, these two have been beefing since the early 2000s. The amount of times Charlamagne disrespected Diddy in this interview is wild, because Charlamagne knew exactly what he was doing when he said.
It's hilarious.
50 came up here and he was giving you flack for the asking Fab the party. So he'll ask you to play the clip, man.
Of course, Diddy was already uncomfortable at this point. So when Charlamagne asked for the clip, you could tell Diddy was visibly anxious.
Yeah, play the clip. Go ahead.
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
After the clip ended, Diddy looked straight at Charlamagne once again.
I asked 50 about that, and he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Charlamagne said, with a straight face, almost like he was interrogating Diddy or something.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy.
Why are you in fifth?
Hey, yo.
Diddy's response made the host laugh as Diddy was stunned trying to see what they found funny about what he said. His expression said it all.
Why y'all not?
Hey, yo, I don't have no beef with
I don't know why.
With Fifth.
Not only that, Diddy looked like he was ready to crash out just to prove that 50 loves him for some reason.
He loves me. He loves me.
Do y'all really
can't
have
see
a
it?
beef?
I mean, y'all can't see it.
No, we can't see it.
Y'all can't
man.
see that he loves me.
But see,
you really think that's hate? When you really break it down, you've been out here a long time.
So when DJ Envy refuted Diddy's claims that 50 loves him so many times, the mood of the interview totally shifted.
You know he loves me.
I don't think he like you.
You know he loves me.
I don't think he like you.
Okay.
But why not? Y'all both passionate. Y'all both.
I don't know. Check this out. I don't know.
Like
I don't.
both the same.
This finally hit a breaking point when DJ Envy claimed that 50 and Diddy were the same. Diddy strongly denied this and was frustrated that DJ Envy compared the two in the first place.
No, we are not.
Okay.
We are not the same.
But I mean,
we are
as
not
far as
cut
the
from
way
the
you
same
guys
cloth.
work hard.
Yeah, and I mean, I respect that. I don't never hit him with no, nothing. I don't even think of no other man. Besides, if I'm thinking about another man, I'm thinking about uplifting.
So let's get this straight. Diddy said that he only thinks about other men when he's uplifting them. This doesn't line up with the sus behavior that he's displayed over the years at all. Not to mention the dozens of cases stacked against him by other men.
I'm not thinking about all that. All them gnats, they can't really touch me. Y'all, at the end of the day, y'all see and y'all know what it is. Mm-hmm. The track record, y'all know the business acumen, y'all know the community service, y'all know what I'm about, and when he does that, it's like funny to me. I don't really take it personal. I know he has a different sense of humor, and he's just not in my life.
Diddy tried his best to explain that there was no beef between him and 50.
We don't have to never cross paths, and I will never say nothing negative about him, because that's just not me.
But Angela Yee wanted to keep pressing the hip-hop mogul about their long-standing beef.
It feels like something must have happened though, like that we just don't know about behind the scenes.
He loves me.
That maybe a situation, a deal went bad. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes people that feel like they don't like you and they act like that, they really love you.
Yeah, I bet 50 Cent's love for Diddy must run deep. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Because 50 Cent has said that he's currently working on a Diddy documentary exposing the rapper's allegations, and if that's not love, I don't know what is.
Like I'm not like, just saying it to say, But I mean, it's something about me that has him on me all the time, and I'm not going nowhere.
Anyways, this Breakfast Club interview with Diddy aged horribly. Not only that, the three hosts who kept on pressuring Diddy about his freaky nature definitely had a field day disrespecting him live on air like that to get a reaction out of him. But this isn't Diddy's only time creating an insanely awkward moment in an interview. Because when he heard that Fabulous was on the Drink Champs podcast with Jadakiss to promote their new album, of course, Diddy had to be there as well. Not to mention, it was also Fab's birthday. And you bet that the Bad Boy Records mogul was not going to miss that. However, Can you imagine what's worse than Diddy showing up unannounced? An intoxicated Diddy who crashed the podcast and made everyone feel really uncomfortable.
Mother up daddy in the building. Yes.
What's up? What's going on, man? What's up, family?
You want to let them know that pulling up and rap radar like that. What's going on, my brother? Oh, man. Yo, it's Groove here.
After they dapped each other up, Diddy could have just taken a seat like a regular guest, but this is Diddy we're talking about. So he had to go the extra mile and sing his greetings to Fabulous.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday, dear Fabulous. The only got the name that I want. It ain't get happy birthday to you.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
Let's take a shot for that, bro.
Notice how Noor told everyone to drink a shot for that, but apparently Diddy didn't get the memo, because as the interview went along, he proceeded to gulp down about 67 shots in under 10 minutes before lighting a. While Noor and the others were talking about some other things, it looked like Diddy felt particularly festive that night and got really sus.
Same two people who own the bar. So it's like Fab owns the dispensary, and then Jada Kiss across the street owns the actual bar where you want to go smoke your shit. And I was just like, that was so genius to me. Like, it was so simple, because I told you, I'm from special education. I apologize. So I look at things in a simple way. And I was like, damn, why can't we figure that out? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, man, eat real easy. Like, look, I could sell you the bud.
Noor finished what he said and got interrupted by Diddy as he started to spaz out live on air.
That's that Willie Lynch. Let's call it what it is. That's that Willie Lynch. Need to stop cooning right now. It's an emergency situation. Need to stop cooning, including myself. You know what I'm saying? Nothing off me. We all need to get focused and get this money.
Where did I put my own bag at?
And finally, when Drink Champs host started to scramble around looking for his bag, this was Diddy's cue to say something even more zestier.
Mr. Lee,
yeah, I love this Drink
Where you
Champs
put my
with you.
bag
I like
at?
when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, where you put my bag
Daddy,
at,
I like
Mr.
when
Lee?
you
It's
scrambling
right
and
here.
scraping for
No, I got notes
like
and
that.
Yeah, you heard that right. I'll give you a few seconds to replay what Diddy just said, because the look on Fabulous and Jadakiss's face says it all.
Hey, I've been practicing. I got
Yeah,
notes
there you go. Got your notes.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go over with that one.
Just to make the situation worse, Diddy did this. And by the way, I just want to pause for a second and ask you guys, if this is how this guy acted in public, on camera, in 4K, imagine what he was doing behind closed doors.
Make a wish. Just blow it out. It's your birthday every day.
Every day's your birthday on Drink Champs, goddammit. I'm in. So
Fab, how was your birthday, man? What was your wish for this year?
So Fabulous thought that eating the cake was going to save him from Diddy, but boy was he wrong.
Health, birthday was cool.
Wealth,
yeah.
Knowledge itself. Watch that matter over your cake, brother.
I like vibes. You know what I mean? I like a good vibe more than like wanting for anything, or like, you know what I mean? So I got a cool vibe. I spent some of the time with my kids. I went out, grabbed a bag, and I spent some more time with my kids, and you know what I mean? I felt like I was a milestone age.
And the difference in how Fab talked when Diddy didn't show up yet was night and day. However, when he mentioned something about a party, it was all downhill from there as the diddler took charge.
I'm gonna have a party, and we had parties, but I was more like just trying to just vibe, like just see where I look back on where I became.
Did you miss me though? For real? Because it seems like a thing.
I miss
his birthday party,
Puff, man.
But I'm talking about for your birthday.
Huh?
Why won't you party with me for your birthday, man?
We partied for my birthday before. You came to my party.
No, but me and you ain't never really party, you know what I'm saying?
With everything that we know so far about the freak-offs, watching this clip gives it a much darker context.
Eyes, brother.
Oh,
eyes. I understand. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it. It goes down like this. I got it.
No, every year Fab has a theme for his birthday parties.
I mean, we all know how much Diddy loves parties and what goes on there, right?
What was the theme this year, my brother?
Parties coming up. I didn't do it yet.
We still able to do this together.
Oh, man. Tyrese, Ray J, and F. Gary Gray. You know, I'm a type of nigga I like variety, man. I like people that's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? I like different personalities. So I was like, I never knew they would become what they are today. But you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, that sounded like the type of night I want to have in Vegas. You understand what I'm saying?
And I don't know about you guys, but I would not want to be anywhere near Diddy's type of night in Vegas at all.
So Tyrese kept on talking.
This is a Floyd fight, right?
Yeah. And Tyrese keep on talking about like how you got to get back for church. And we just like, yo, the night ain't start. You got to get back for church. We in Vegas. Like, you can go to church next week. You know what I'm saying? Sending your thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but we in Vegas. Don't be bringing God into this situation. Don't bring God into this situation. You know what I'm saying? Gary Gray is like, shut the up. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Ray J. So Ray J is like just really like feeling like Ray J right now. You know what I'm saying?
When the other guests had enough of Diddy, he walked up and left his seat. And if you know anything about Diddy, he was not gonna let that slide. The clips speak for themselves, but it gets really uncomfortable. I mean, even more than it was already.
Hey yo, Rastafari. Hey yo, don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I said let me pick it up. That's why I said let me pick it up from right there. This why I gotta pick it up from right there.
Look at it. Go ahead. No, bro. Come tell the story. Bro, we're intoxicated.
Listen.
Bro, we helping me build that beautiful, nice guy.
To be honest, I can't even imagine how wild Diddy was behind the scenes in one of his infamous freak-off parties if he was this unhinged in front of cameras. Another rapper who's embarrassed himself quite a bit is Benzino. If you're a hip-hop fan, you probably know Benzino for one reason: his rap beef with Eminem that has spanned for decades now. Over the years, Benzino has always said that Eminem was a culture vulture, but that's not all. Back in the day, he tried to expose Eminem for being racist, and what did he get in return? He lost everything. However, normally when he speaks on this beef, he's very aggressive, but this time, he became rather emotional and began to cry.
I don't got nothing against Eminem. I got nothing against Eminem. Eminem can rap, but I care about us more. I don't want to go through, I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want, for 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem. The f you want me to do?
And Benzino's not wrong here, because whenever he sat down for an interview, there was never a time when Eminem wasn't brought up. I mean, that must have been annoying.
Come on, man. My daughter came into the industry figuring that, hey, I gotta be cool with Eminem because everybody's against my dad.
If you didn't know, the daughter Benzino mentioned was Coyle Ray.
You think this boo? Nah, man. We're failing as a people. I don't hate Eminem. I don't know him to hate him. I don't hate white people. Tired of this shit, man. It's just too much. I don't want to be the bad guy. I got an 8-year-old son that I dropped off at school this morning. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm all right. I don't want my DMs filled with, I've had 9 pages knocked down, 1 million. White people think I love all people. Come on, man. All me and Eminem got to do is sit down and talk with each other. Let's sit down and talk. Let's battle. Let's do whatever. But let's at least face to face meet each other.
If that was to happen, would you give him a 5?
Man, I'd hug him.
It looks like Benzino has been through a lot because of his feud with Eminem. And honestly, at the end of the day, he did this to himself for going at Slim Shady. But speaking of emotional reactions, whenever rappers start to blow up or get traction, news outlets like the BBC will try to get them on their program and try to break down the image they made for themselves. Just like the time when Tyler the Creator and his Odd Future crew sat down with the BBC for an interview. And when the interviewer had something really odd, no pun intended, questions for the group, Tyler the Creator went out of his way to make the whole situation as awkward and uncomfortable as possible for the host.
Okay, now what about your lyrics? What are you saying in your lyrics?
Nothing to old white people off like you.
Is that right?
My lyrics aren't offensive.
However, instead of letting it go, the host doubled down and argued that Tyler's lyrics were actually offensive. This directly contradicted Tyler the Creator's answer.
Some people find them offensive, don't
Some people find everything offensive. Okay.
But this incident of the rapper annoying the host isn't isolated to just Tyler the Creator. Another instance was when DJ Envy wanted all the smoke against Deezus and Miro when the duo went on the Breakfast Club. To understand why DJ Envy clashed with Deezus and Miro, you first need to understand the context. DJ Envy appeared with his wife, Gia Casey, on a talk show to discuss his past infidelity and how it affected their relationship. The duo, Deezus and Miro, later commented on the situation and made light of it.
This man went on a TV show with 5 women to discuss how he was cheated on his wife. Like, what are you doing?
But that's not all, because Deezus and Miro would target DJ Envy's wife afterwards.
I felt like a letdown. I felt like a failure. I was Rashawn at home, but in the streets I was DJ Envy. So it was 2 different people.
I didn't know DJ Envy.
You know them DJ Envy checks though.
The duo insinuated that DJ Envy's wife was there for DJ Envy's checks. In short, she was with him for the money. And of course, DJ Envy would not take that lightly.
You owe my wife an apology.
We owe your wife an apology? What
Absolutely.
do we do?
When you insinuated that she was there for the check. That's what you said exactly, I heard it.
He wanted to make it clear that his wife actually made more money than he did way before they ever got together. He felt that it was really unfair for Deezus and Miro to imply that she was with them for the check just because she chose to stay with them. Envy argued that the relationship wasn't just about money and that the two disrespected her.
Since 15, before I had $1, she was making more money than me. So to insinuate that she was there for a check is a disrespect to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we was cool.
Although Deezus and Miro had planned to apologize, it was far too late at that point because DJ Envy had already walked out of the studio.
Please put the camera on Envy's chair right now. that is light skin. You hear me?
Why is he so tight though?
If I had been in DJ Envy's shoes and my co-host, Charlamagne the God, made fun of me for being emotional about the situation, I would have definitely felt some type of way. And it's honestly wild how Charlamagne ended up sneaking in one more out-of-pocket thing to say in his long list of wild moments on the show. But until now, we haven't talked about the king of unfiltered and uncomfortable interviews, Kanye West. In the past few years, Kanye West has given us some of the most unforgettable moments across major interviews. Sitting down with practically anyone, Kanye has spoken on every topic under the sun, giving viewers an unfiltered look at the man behind the controversies. One of the most unforgettable Kanye West interviews came on November 27th of 2013 with Sway in the Sway in the Morning on Shade 45. This wasn't the first time Kanye had spoken out on the radio show, but that day's interview would go down as one of the most heated exchanges in hip-hop. But here's the thing, the interview actually started out okay. In fact, Sway opened the interview with nothing but praise. He welcomed Kanye with enthusiasm, expressing deep respect for his achievements, saying,
"Most important artist of this generation, over 21 Grammys, 6 consecutive #1 albums, one of the most impactful voices to ever grab a microphone."
Sway didn't just introduce Kanye as a guest, he rolled out the red carpet, setting a respectful and positive tone. He would also even compliment Kanye's way of speaking his mind because people didn't know it then, but this would soon come to bite him.
One of the most prolific people to ever speak on behalf of his thoughts, to trigger emotions and trigger thought of you. One of the most clever people to ever manipulate the internet.
However, Sway also reminded listeners of some of Kanye's most controversial moments.
Some of the things that this man has said to really go against the grain and challenge thought fearlessly.
Like his infamous statement after Hurricane Katrina back in 2005.
For example,
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
And some really questionable things like,
I think it's like people so gay conscious now. That's like the whole thing, like with the internet. Every day somebody's, oh, I can tell he gay now, you know. But back in the days, people used to have songs called like Get in That Ass, something like that.
But after all of these were playing, Kanye either looked uninterested or triggered. And the interview went from initially focusing on Kanye's Yeezus tour and his artistic inspirations to Kanye's fashion ambitions. Back then, Kanye had big dreams of launching his own brand, but he explained that he felt blocked by major players like Nike and Adidas. Here, Kanye talked about feeling annoyed with the fashion industry, saying it holds people back and keeps certain people out. According to Kanye, these brands hold all the power, controlling access to top-tier materials and resources, making it nearly impossible for an independent creator to break in.
Standing up and I'm telling you, I am Warhol. I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation. I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
He's basically pleading for some of the biggest companies to partner with him to help create his concepts. He believed that without partnerships with giants like Nike or Adidas, he'd never have the tools to reach his full potential.
Now who's gonna be the Medici family and stand up and let me create more? Or do you want to marginalize me till I'm out of my moment?
But Sway had a different perspective. He believed that Kanye didn't need these big brands at all.
Why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
In Sway's eyes, Kanye's influence was strong enough that he could create a successful fashion line on his own from the ground up.
Empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself.
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
Sway encouraged Kanye to consider this path, suggesting he could empower himself without relying on the very industry he claimed was holding him back. It was this point that things began to heat up because Kanye insisted that going solo wouldn't get him the best resources, the best prices, or the best teams.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Kanye.
He argued that without these big brand partnerships, he'd be at a disadvantage.
I've been doing this more than you.
Doing what
You
more
ain't
than
got.
me? Come on, chill out.
You
bro.
ain't got the answers.
Kanye,
You ain't got the answers.
The discussion turned into a passionate back and forth, with Kanye growing visibly more intense, and Sway, who'd been calm and respectful throughout, trying to reason with him. But Kanye was in no mood to listen.
I'm asking you.
You
a
ain't
question.
been doing the education,
bro.
You ain't been doing the education.
Kanye, calm down.
You don't have the answers though,
Calm down.
because you trying to give me advice about something. You ain't got the answer. You ain't spent $13 million of your own money trying to empower yourself.
Yep.
His outburst wasn't just about fashion, but it was about validation, resources, and effect. He'd felt like he'd spend millions of his own money trying to break into fashion, taking a huge financial risk that others wouldn't dare.
And I could lose money on a higher level too.
And that's what
Don't
I'm
think
asking
just
you.
because don't think because I got the most or the least money.
Let me finish my question, dog.
Man,
But at this point, Kanye was tired of hearing Sway's advice.
No, man.
Let me hear the question,
you don't have
man.
the answers.
I'm asking you for the answer. It's a question.
In his eyes, Sway hadn't experienced the same level of sacrifice and therefore didn't understand his unique challenges at all. Despite the shouting and tension, Sway stayed remarkably calm. He continued trying to get Kanye to cool down, reminding him,
I'm trying to understand your world because when I go to your concert, I'm curious about what you're saying. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you to.
Sway actually showed his professionalism in this whole interview, even if it was a chaotic one. But Kanye wasn't ready to let up. He insisted that Sway couldn't truly understand what he was going through, throwing out there that Sway's clothing line had failed. Eventually, Kanye did simmer down, and the two managed to find common ground.
Questions.
Well, I'm explaining to you what it
Okay,
is.
but you ain't got to turn up on me man to man, dog. Fuck these mics. We could turn all this shit off. You ain't got to do this. It's cool. I love you, bro.
By the end of the interview, the hostility had faded and the two even hugged, bringing the wild exchange to a peaceful close. But whether you agree with Kanye or not, his words remain unforgettable and pretty entertaining at times. However, even some of his craziest interviews failed to be as entertaining as No Jumper interviews. This heated No Jumper interview involved Lil Kelpie and Almighty Suspect. Prior to this interview, Kelpie had already hopped on Sharp Tank, where Sharp and Suspect berated him endlessly and had gone viral on Soft White Underbelly, where he wore a ridiculous pimp outfit. During this interview, Kelpie acknowledged the public's reception towards him.
What was the feedback like? Like, what would you describe as the most common comments that you saw in response to the Soft White Underbelly thing that were really driving it being viral?
Oh, just a lot of hateful shit about the way I was dressed mostly.
He then talked about something else many brought up in the comments of that video, and that's when Kelpie mentioned being homeless. Fans felt like someone who's homeless can't have the financial intelligence to handle prostitutes. But Kelpie provided more context to this.
People was like, and also I feel like they took a lot of the shit I said out of context. Like when I said I was homeless, that was because I just got evicted after the raid. The apartments had like kicked us out with some Section 8 that I was staying with my family and the girls. So they kicked us out of that.
Kelpie also provided an explanation on his choice of wardrobe during the interview, and addressed the comments that said the chains he was wearing were fake.
And a lot of people were like, oh, why is he dressed like a Party City pimp, fake chains and all that. But you know, it's all real. You know, the outfit, I feel like that's the most thing that people said was being disrespectful, but I was just doing that to get attention. But all my jewelry is legit and stuff.
So
been diamond tested.
However, Suspect apparently had experience in the pimp game before, so Adam asked him to weigh in on Kelpie's situation and what he thought about him, and let's just say Suspect wasn't Kelpie's biggest fan from the get-go.
We felt like that shit, like the equivalent for to get everybody to understand, kind of like blackface. You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of like it looked like a costume. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
With the way Kelpie kept butting in while Suspect was explaining what he thought of him during that interview, you could tell he didn't like how he's being criticized. Then Adam asked Suspect if he could rock the same outfit, which he answered with,
I'm true to this, so of course I could, but that's the same thing, like I'm blackface. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like wearing blackface.
So Suspect was suggesting that it would be okay for someone to dress up like him because he's black, which led Kelpie to bring up White Folks, a well-known white pimp who, ironically enough, was introduced to him by Sharp and Suspect before the start of the interview.
But but aren't there white pimps at these pimp conventions?
I know.
We asked you that last interview. You had no clue.
You didn't ask me about no white pimps last time.
The Sharp said, you know who the white folks is? You was like, no, I don't. You didn't know who the that
told
was.
me who that was on FaceTime before the interview
exactly.
happened.
You didn't know who white
he
folks was until we informed you.
Kelpie then brought up the fact that pimping can't be a race thing, which made Suspect deny it being a race thing, even though he compared a white man dressing like a pimp to wearing blackface.
But you know what I'm saying? There's white pimps out there.
Somebody informed
so I
him
don't get
before
how
his
it's,
interview.
how it's blackface. That seems like you're bringing up racism where it doesn't need to be brought up.
No. That was just an analogy to get everybody to understand. I'm not saying that you were doing. It's
you
an
said
analogy
I was doing blackface
to get everybody to understand. Yeah, because you pulled up in a pimp costume.
Adam then interjected here by clarifying whether Suspect's problem with Kelpie was because he was a white pimp or was it because he was just new.
He was saying it was like blackface, but is it the fact that he's white in general, or is the fact that he's so new in the game?
It's just it's just because he's not really doing that shit in his head. He came. But
I am really. So in an effort to take race out of the discussion, Suspect uses a different analogy.
Let's do another one, like who go to the gym with all this shit and he looking like he finna ball the fuck up. You feel me? And then when he get the ball, he can't do shit. But he came in his head like this what ballers look like. I'm gonna get the headband, the socks, and all that shit. You get what I'm saying?
Kelpie then interjects here by saying someone who wants to ball can dress up like a baller because every baller has to start somewhere, which Adam enthusiastically agreed to.
He starts learning how to play ball and then he starts balling harder than other right? Is he still impersonating at that point?
Everybody's a little kid trying to be
like
Michael Jordan at one point, right? And then
right?
The next day, boom, you are Michael Jordan.
You gotta crawl before you can walk, bro.
You can tell Suspect didn't like how Kelpie was making so much more sense than he was here, and how it seemed like Adam was more on Kelpie's side rather than on his side. Kelpie then continued by pointing out a possible explanation as to why Suspect had it out for him so much.
So everybody starts somewhere, and I feel like y'all were hating on that because not even the race thing, because I feel like we're all the same no matter what color we are, but I feel like it's because of my age and because of how new I was to the game that y'all just attacked me for.
Suspect then clarified that he doesn't dislike Kelpie because he's new. He dislikes him because he thinks he's an impersonator.
That has nothing to do with that. I don't feel like you're
That's
new to
not
shit.
seem like
you hate white people.
Like no. I feel like you're not new to shit. I just feel like you're an impersonator for your SoundCloud career. You're not new to shit.
Bro, I don't even focus on music.
You came up in
I
here
focus
talking
on the
about
streets. I focus on getting money.
Talking about you professing old school, and then you was like, we actually where you learned shit from, and then you said, I watched Sharp on YouTube. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I have no mentors in real life.
You could watch on YouTube and impersonate.
Start getting money from
it? Get in the fucking streets.
Now, this is where things really started heating up. Kelpie and Suspect were directly addressing each other now, kind of like messily trying to get their points across as their voices get louder and louder. Kelpie also addresses Suspect's criticism of him only learning from pimps online rather than on the streets, which Kelpie said that he did learn on the streets as well. He also pointed out that he's a bigger pimp than Suspect because he's seen with his prospect, whereas Suspect hasn't. At this point, Kelpie and Suspect just kept going back and forth on who's the bigger pimp, who's richer, who has the most women, you know, things you probably shouldn't boast about on camera. Adam then tries to interject, siding with Suspect this time, saying just because a pimp isn't seen with a woman doesn't mean he's not legit. He also goes on to say that he's never seen a woman follow Suspect before, insinuating that he's a legit pimp who knows what he's talking about.
But also, you gotta respect it. Like, if I had like all kinds of girls, I would probably try to keep some kind of distance between my professional life and bringing chicks around all my employees and stuff. I mean, I am somebody who lives my whole life on the internet, so it might be kind of different from me. But I mean, just because he don't necessarily, I've seen some women trailing him before.
Niggas really know. I'm on tracks, boy.
While that calmed down things for a while, things immediately started heating up again as both resorted to name calling each other until, well, just take a look for yourself.
Who are you?
I'm Lil Kelpie.
Who are you? No
Kelpie
one
the
knows
pimp.
you.
Kelpie the
Kelpie the clown.
You ain't gotta know who I am.
Out of here.
Ben Franklin knows who I am.
Out of here.
He knows who the fuck I am. I'm getting money every day. I said Ben Franklin knows who the fuck I am.
Who you calling a
Franklin, I'm calling you a
One lesson here, when you call someone a bitch and he squares up, you better square up too, because that's what led Suspect just stopping this entire interview completely, and instead of letting his words reach Kelpie's ear, he let his fists reach Kelpie's face. What's funny is that Suspect did say to Kelpie he shouldn't have called him a or that wouldn't have happened, but Kelpie just called him a bitch again despite having a bloodied face. Thankfully, the No Jumper crew stepped in immediately, or that could have gone way worse than it already was, and sorry I couldn't show you the whole thing, it just had to be, Now, if you're looking for a more heated No Jumper moment, then let's go back to a Sharp Tank episode, because Sharp when he's mad never disappoints. In this particular episode, Sharp spoke with 3 of Blueface's girls, and a disagreement between him and one of the girls immediately ensued regarding how the girl undervalued herself.
What was the highest paid gig you done got so far?
In Virginia, like $300,
How are you doing? $300? Stop.
Do you not like?
Stop.
No, I'm gonna do.
Stop.
I'll do it for 150. I'll do it
Stop.
for 300. I'll do it for what? Mm-hmm.
Get all the bruises and all the extra shit for 150.
The girls then explained that it's okay if they got paid only that amount as long as they have fun doing what they're doing. Which, if they're happy being underpaid, good for them. But to Sharp, all they were doing was participating in some cheap labor.
You gonna get cheap labor out this mother.
Club is like, what do you
You
think
gonna get cheap labor. Obviously cheap labor.
Use a mother.
Cheap labor.
Like,
it's obviously
that's
some
weird.
cheap labor going on around that man, because you over here talking about going and doing something for $300. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
you
I
didn't even
did.
fly for 300.
I did.
You didn't even fly for 300. Up your game. That's why I told you, get your agent, because you're playing and you're selling yourself short.
I'm not.
So Sharp was giving them financial and professional advice here, but the girl was having none of it, causing Sharp to call her out for having childlike behavior.
Had a mic. I'm not.
I'm
like
not.
a child.
I don't care.
You like 7, 8, 9 years
Oh,
old,
that's
ain't you? Aren't you?
That's your opinion. I don't give a
That's a fucking fact.
I don't care.
That's a fact.
Opinion.
Nastiness. Just nastiness. Your attitude nasty.
And if you know Sharp, you know he wasn't gonna stop here. He also called her out for being snotty right from the beginning.
Your face. I was just trying to give you some game. You was the one already trying to pop that little earlier.
Okay, I'm over it. This
Right or
is
wrong?
boring.
But right or wrong? Wasn't you? You was
Can we
like, I don't
continue
get what
with
you're
your
saying.
podcast? Can
You're
we
like, I don't
continue
get what
with
you're
your
saying.
podcast? Can we continue your show?
Hella
This is
quick,
not
but
my
hella
show.
little
This is your
snide.
show. This is not my show.
Take that shit to the
Can you
snooty
go?
fox.
Can you go?
Take that up to the snooty fox. We don't want it around here.
I don't even like.
Heard they got the little channels through there, 1 through 50. Shut up.
Since things were starting to get heated up, one of the girls named Leo stepped out and cut everyone off so they could have a difficult conversation. And to her credit, what she did worked. Sharp's attention turned towards her, and for a few minutes, both of them had a straightforward conversation about her career. The conversation between Sharp and Leo was, in all fairness, very calm and productive. Sharp still had one or two side comments, of course. It wouldn't really be a Sharp interview without these, but Leo was able to answer Sharp's questions properly, and she never got offended whenever Sharp was being truthful towards her. However, there was something about Leo that Sharp started questioning. See, when this interview happened, Leo's newborn son was only 10 months old, and she went on this 3-week-long trip to unwind and party. Sharp then insisted that Leo should have been more goal-oriented since she was already taking care of a baby.
See, for you having a motherfucking baby, you should be mashing as hard as you can, having a goal, not just having fun. See, that's what's weird about y'all, is because you be like, I'm out here. No, I gotta say it, because you didn't come out here for no purpose. You, like you said, I came out here to have fun and have a good time. And left my 10-month baby back home.
Leo then explained that while she was still having fun, she was also making gains, networking with successful people, and growing professionally. When Sharp later asked how much she made during that 3-week period, her answer once again caused Sharp to make a side comment.
How much money you made off your so far?
$800.
$800. Wow.
I've never posted on there.
And you've never posted?
Never posted.
$800.
$800.
A
I've only been
whopping
here for 3 weeks.
$800.
I literally I'm only gained like 1,000 followers. So therefore, that's a
Now, as Sharp made that comment, he noticed that the girl he was arguing with earlier was making this look that he wasn't really that happy with. So he called her out, and he called her out hard.
Hey, you keep looking up over there. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
God.
Because because it's just your face.
Because like
That shit bothered the f out
you,
me.
my dude. Like that's good money.
But you can
That's
get it
something.
like me.
That's something.
You can get it if you listen, dumb dumb.
And that's why we here.
You can
But
get it.
you not gonna keep coming for
And when the other girls stepped in, Sharp went off on her too.
You don't need to sit there and put your pom-poms up
You
for her. She
keep-
grown.
no, it don't matter.
She's
It
over
don't
the age
matter.
of
You
21.
keep coming
That
for
is
her,
not
though.
your
That's
daughter.
that's
No,
my
she keeps
pop-
sitting up
but
over there.
friend.
But she
She
keeps
can
sitting
feel
over there
how
making
she
all them little
feel.
faces
It
and like
don't
she's
matter.
bored.
It
If
don't
your ass
matter.
bored, get the f up and get your ass out. Since you want to sit over there and look tired, snooty fox for you
She
tonight.
ain't no snooty.
29,
She likes how you
99.
come.
So the girl was just defending her friend, and because Sharp was offended by the faces she was making, her friend insisted that was just how her face looked.
But quit coming
That
for
warm
her.
you know? Who said coming? She sit up over here with her face.
It's her
All the extra
face.
shit.
It's her
Man,
face.
she making them little, so I see in her face. That's why she was ready to already pop off. She knew.
It don't matter.
Stop playing.
Why you tripping on her?
Damn, Jermaine, why you tripping?
Cause I can. Cause Jermaine tripped first.
Damn, Jermaine.
I don't know who that
That's your
is.
big
I was
mom.
born in 2000. You gotta come with some more.
That's your-
I ain't
I'm
gonna
just
lie.
saying, that's your because you game
These
goofy
both
as
of my.
fuck. You game
You
goofy
game
as fuck.
goofy. Nigga.
Oh,
Keep
now
telling
you-
all
now
three
you a
of
part
us
of the
we
game,
game
huh?
goofy.
If you thought Goofy was all Sharp had, nah, they had way more. In fact, at one point, he called the girl a man because he felt like she was trying to fight him.
You be ready to scrap.
give a
I know
about
you be
Jermaine.
ready to fight, don't you?
I don't know.
Stop playing with me.
I don't
But you
talk
acting like you's a
and
but you
baby,
acting like you's a
oh,
man.
well, who gonna
You told me
fight
this
now?
before the cameras
I don't
came
know
on.
no that's gonna come.
You told me.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
You just told me.
That girl didn't back off though. She matched Sharp's heat and went at him.
Just like you tell your what she wanna hear, nigga. All these motherfuckers telling what they wanna hear. Quit playing with me.
Who?
So I tell her whatever. I tell her whatever. I don't give a the truth.
The blonde girl wasn't done too, so she and Sharp went at each other's throats again.
She already had the attitude. She had the attitude for the time.
It was your energy. It's all about energy.
It's nothing but good energy. How? That little snooty, little raunchy, motherfucking maggoty look on your face.
His name, like, I don't even know what it was till I came here, bro.
Leo tried to step in here, but things were too heated for Sharp to ever calm down. In fact, he never did any more during this interview. He just got angrier and angrier.
You just talking. You're just talking. Now you're just talking.
You done called us.
Passionate.
You done disrespected us from the utmost. Like, you don't know
what?
You don't know her. You don't know her. You don't know what none of these about.
And when Sharp's heat reached the ultimate boiling point, Gina just had to step in to make sure he didn't do anything he wouldn't regret. And then he just left.
Time out.
But you keep talking to me like you said.
And you see how he acting? You're weird. That's weird. That's weird. This is weird. This is strange.
You're in a girl's face.
Exactly. You never be respectful to you.
Exactly. You're weird.
No, she's a fucking clown.
You're weird. You're weird.
We have a different interview. We not done, Gina. Gina said, Gina
You'll see me now. You'll see me now.
You got more gas.
Mark my fucking words.
See? Sharp didn't disappoint, huh? By the end, everyone except Leo was yelling at the top of their lungs. A classic No Jumper heated moment. Now, let's dive into another intense moment from No Jumper, this one including Suspect and Flocko. In this segment, the two are arguing about who has the right to give the others the N-word pass. This argument wasn't just heated, it got downright personal, full of accusations and interruptions. Flash started to make his stance known, saying that someone who's black should never be okay to give another non-black person the N-word pass.
No black man should ever be comfortable giving a pass to any other race, Hispanics or others, to say the word. That should never be a quote-unquote pass given, bro. That's wrong.
However, Suspect argued differently. He talked about how he grew up with Latinos, saying,
That time, y'all didn't eat tacos at each other's houses and some of my best friends, bro, I got best friends who done passed away that was Latinos, that I was in the streets with, that I thugged with every day.
To which Flocko would reply,
Ain't no taco good enough to get the N-word pass.
With the tensions rising, Suspect actually wanted to change the subject. However, it was clear that moving on was far from what was happening.
Understand it.
I'm sorry, bro.
Next topic, this is a clown.
I'm sorry, bro.
But things quickly shifted gears when Suspect threw shade on Flocko's authenticity.
I'm a real one, bro.
No, you're not.
Bro.
A real one where?
Bro.
You just lied about where you was
real
from
one,
on
bro.
camera a month ago.
How I lied, though?
Real. The fuck? You ain't no fucking real one. He's a clown.
The two kept going at it, with Flocko asking Suspect why did he become so emotional all of a sudden.
I'm not a clown, bro. But you're emotional right now and angry as fuck.
You ain't no real one.
Why are you emotional as right now,
You ain't no real one. You're a clown.
You emotional right now, though.
Finally, one of their bosses, Josh, intervened and wanted to take a short break as things were getting heated. However, that didn't really stop the two from arguing.
I think we should pause right here, and I do think we should probably address this. Can you guys?
It's emotional responses for no reason.
The news.
You feel me? Like we adults, my nigga. Bro, we're past the news, so Josh is fucking
about
up.
none of that.
Suspect added that a person has no right to define what other people can say.
Crazy is you as one person think what you can define what other people can say.
But it's a conversation.
What are you talking about?
At that point, Flocko just asked him why they couldn't talk about it civilly. However, Suspect was tired of hearing it and just wanted them to proceed with the next topic.
Next topic.
Why do a conversation as podcasters have to turn into insults?
Next topic though.
But we're co-workers though.
The exchange grew more intense, with both of them throwing their personal insults, refusing to back down, and questioning each other's credibility. Suspect countered, accusing Flocko of being a snake.
Why do we have to do this with others, bro?
You the snakiest co-worker here. You're the snakiest co-worker here. Let's do that. Let's do that.
So it started as a debate over the N-word escalated further as Suspect confronted Flocko, accusing him of allegedly speaking about him being removed from the shows after his incident with Kelpie, which he'll also talk about later. He said,
The moment I got into it with Kelpie, you was up here talking about he's not coming back, right? I hope he doesn't come back, right?
That's a lie.
Josh,
that's a lie.
Who was pushing for me to not come back?
Flocko denied these claims, insisting that he'd only ever been supportive of Suspect's role on No Jumper. However, Suspect doubled down, stating he had proof of Flocko's behavior from other people.
Josh can tell you, I'm campaigning for you.
He just tried to end the Monday
That's
show.
a lie, bro.
What are you talking about?
You feel me?
Get the fuck out of here.
Josh can tell you, man. I was campaigning for you with Josh.
The accusations spiraled as each tried to prove their own side, dragging colleagues and even management into the mix.
Josh can tell you himself.
We finna see.
Open out the one texting Josh campaigning for you to come back, my nigga.
We finna see.
You feel me, right?
We finna see.
But the boss is right here. Ask him yourself, my
Flocko kept on arguing that he advocated for Suspect and even vouched for his talent. For confirmation, he asked Josh, who was present during parts of his intense exchange. He tried to hash things out by saying,
when Flocko wanted off of the Monday show, which he did say he wanted, he did not campaign for anything else to be canceled. He campaigned for both you and Gina to have other options.
On the other hand, Suspect was pleading for Josh to believe him, saying,
Me and you had a conversation about this immediately when it happened.
Okay. And
that's on my daughter.
Yeah.
That's on my heartbeat.
Suspect wouldn't let it go, swearing on his family that Flocko had campaigned against them, bringing up specific conversations and proof. According to Suspect, he got that call from Lush, another employee from No Jumper.
He called my phone and said, you are about to get a show. Don't let them push Gina on you.
Yeah, that, and we heard all of that. We heard all of that after the fact. I to any of that.
Hey, that's not true though.
As the argument boiled down, Suspect made it clear he only stayed for the sake of other colleagues, but had no respect for Flocko. The vibe was really off at this point, and while Josh attempted to mediate, there was no stopping this clash.
It's hard for me to sit next to this goofball.
So let me ask you something. You don't, let's just say it like this, without you guys going crazy again. You don't with him, Suspect, or
no,
you do?
I don't with him.
In the end, it felt like this was all just a misunderstanding and miscommunication. Josh tried to explain to them that they both helped each other.
You guys have both actually been supportive to me about one another.
I'm just not no hate.
I've heard any
he's
negative.
the boss though.
I know.
I've never hated on you.
Either one.
That's one person. I know you've talked to other
people.
He's
the main person. He's the boss.
That's one person, bro. I know for a fact from other people.
This moment captured the chaotic and unpredictable nature of No Jumper's interviews. Suspect and Flocko's fight over respect, loyalty, and honesty in the workplace turned into a fiery display of personal vendettas and long-standing grudges. And even if they might have called a short truce for the cameras, the unresolved tension spoke volumes, leaving fans wondering if they'd ever see eye to eye.
All right, look.
Meet Josh and Adam, right?
We're not gonna do all this because all I'm gonna do is get mad,
bro. I'm trying to
go a little crazy,
bro.
It's late for that, fool.
I'm trying to tell you, right.
It's cool though. I don't give a because I know he be lying. This is what he do.
Now, this next interview never reached such lengths, but it was such a heated moment nonetheless. Here we have Sharp and Church, the former an old school pimp, and the latter a new school pimp who operates mostly with odd future models. So basically what we have here is a difference in opinion on how pimping should work, as crazy as that sounds.
I'm the old school and you the new school. So let's see who the true school is. Talk to me, man. What's the new school of the game? Well, that's what you'd asked about. No, because you'd asked about that, Church. You ain't running from this one.
Oh no, ain't no running. Ain't no running.
We're gonna talk about this today. Right. So you had asked about it. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna sit relaxed, like some real true game. You know what I'm saying? Keep my posture cool. So you had asked. So what's the new school? What the f is that?
With that introduction, Church then went on to explain why the old school style of pimping just doesn't work anymore.
I've heard a lot of things that you said.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily disagree with a large majority of it. You know what I'm saying? But some of the things that you said have kind of. I feel like it resonates on a lot of people in a lot of ways that would make people serve a little bit of disdain for the ism in a certain regard. Because there's a lot of reasons why a lot of people would fuck with it that don't always necessarily make sense, but are propagated by the vibe.
After that bunch of nothing, Sharp cut him off and urged him to get right to the heart of the situation.
Get down to the meat and potatoes of the situation. You just dragging me along, stringing me along. I asked the question now.
Yes.
What's the new school? What does the new school? What works?
Okay.
What works in it?
Okay.
What happens?
Okay.
What are you doing?
Have you ever heard of the digital pivot when it comes to business? You like to talk about businesses a lot.
I like to talk about business.
You like to talk about business.
But I want to talk about the game with you first.
Now, despite asking Church to get into the meat and potatoes of the situation, Sharp cut him off as he was about to get into it and changed the topic entirely.
Because you asked for me, Church, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like even looking at the Church, like who even named you Church? Where'd you get that name from, that concept?
So apparently the term church in pimping is a fairly major deal, which is why Sharp wants to know why Church is naming himself as such, but Church's response to this is very vague.
Since you don't want to answer me what the news, you want to pivot off to something else.
Just call me Church.
Who called you Church?
Everybody that talked to me.
Who named you that?
The game named me that.
No, not the game, because that name did come from somewhere, loved one. I know, because I'm a part of it. So I know where that name come from, that Church. I can't even look at it because I want to know who gave you the name.
Now, Church really didn't give a clear answer here, which means he just named himself Church without knowing its gravity in pimping culture. So instead of staying on this topic, Church pointed out how Sharp cut him off, as well as how he was afraid to talk about what there was to talk about.
All right, so listen.
And the ones that know what that is know what that is.
So listen, you was talking about the meat and the gravy of this situation.
Go ahead.
And as soon as I started speaking on it, you started to speak up. You started trying to speak over. Do you want me to speak? Because I feel like the problem that a lot of people have when they interviewing you is that you're trying to speak over.
Wait. Hold on. That's where you got it up at. I'm interviewing you. So you need to make sure that you know that right here, right now, man. You're having an interview. I'm interviewing you.
The interview then went on this bizarre turn where Sharp brings up a crazy video.
I was gonna tell you I was highly disappointed in them, because I didn't even think that her face and them toes don't go together.
What you mean?
Her face and them toes did not go together.
It's a shame Sharp didn't expand more on that, because what the hell does that mean?
Secondly, I could never be saying, listen,
why he go try to tear it down? This is smooth.
No, this ain't the move.
He ain't gonna talk about the nitty gritty.
Listen,
he's
I'm
gonna talk
talking to you about it right now.
In front of his face,
if the new game,
which is something that's real pretty. You know what I'm saying? Look at me.
If the new game is being Tucker the Toaster, I don't want to never be nothing a part of it, Jack. You dig what I'm saying?
You ain't never sucked on
you
no
ain't
toes?
gotta do no.
Now, 5 minutes into the video and nothing fruitful was ever talked about. Sharp kept asking who signed off on Church's church title.
Who signed off? Who signed off for you to be the name Church? Because I'm really from the congregation, so I'm trying to really figure it out, man. Who gave you your passes?
And Church kept talking about something called the digital pivot.
What is the new school?
You know what a digital pivot is? You know what a digital pivot is?
Bro, what is the new school to the game?
If this nigga can tell me what a digital pivot is, I will move on.
What's
but
the
he
game?
won't.
A few moments after this, Sharp said he was going to sit back and allow Church to talk so that they could finally get the interview going.
Go ahead. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna sit back for 4 minutes and try to listen to you. Because you start talking stupid. You ain't even from. I don't even know who you are. You asked for me.
You about to.
You asked for me.
I did.
Okay, then
I
get to
wanted some
talking.
things I wanted to say to you.
Get to talking.
I can talk.
Get to talking.
He did not, in fact, sit back for minutes to try and listen. The whole interview went on for 30 more minutes of them going back and forth, saying one empty statement after another. So this whole thing ended the same way it began, with both of them yelling at each other, not really saying anything interesting or relevant.
He's a little boy to me, man.
Hey, you like crypto?
That's when you got your
like
first.
crypto?
You just got your first Benz.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man. No jumper.
Nah. Hey.
The fact of the matter of this whole thing is that Sharp never really wanted to actually listen to what Church had to say. He just brought him there to overpower him in hopes of making him look stupid. And to his credit, it worked. The next He Didn't Know Jumper episode we're going to talk about is when Dejon Paul hopped on to discuss his report card, his way of rating the work of LA rappers, as well as other things. This interview as a whole had a fairly heated vibe since the beginning, but not because everyone was yelling at each other, but because Dejon was really blunt and straightforward, like when he called AD and Trell employees.
You have YouTube, you can start a podcast, you got Twitch, you can do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't come here for corporate.
You got a podcast. So many other things you can do.
I didn't say insult.
Trell and AD then warned Dejon to be mindful of the things he says, and they insisted that they weren't really employees, even though they work for No Jumper, which is owned by Adam 22, but I digress.
As an employee, I'm a mother boss, you know me.
Oh, you talking about us? You guys work here.
I'm a boss. I'm a partner in this mother.
That's cool. You gotta watch your mouth, bro.
Dejon then pointed out that he has a platform, which is why he said that he didn't want to hear advice from employees because he himself is his own boss. And I mean, he isn't wrong, but there was definitely a better way he could have said all of that.
Okay, hear me out. Let's break it down. You just told me to do YouTube. You just told me to do YouTube.
No, but I was saying that,
and I do a podcast and I have a YouTube channel.
But I didn't know that. I was just making sure you had your going out on the platform, so we wouldn't be worrying about everybody else.
Trell then iterated that Dejon should be careful about the things he says, which led him to saying a very, let's just say, a subtle threat. And Dejon's nonchalant reaction to it made the whole thing more iconic.
You gotta know the facts before you speak on it, bro. That's what I was telling you before. Okay. Know the facts before you speak. Right, all right. Because I didn't come here, I could have came here tripping, did whatever I wanted to you. I said, man. Whatever you wanted to me? Whatever I wanted.
No, really, I just...
AD then hopped on to get the interview back on track, praising Dejon's report card and how it rates rappers and all of that, but Trell had a bit more to say to Dejon.
Black man, bro, you feel me? I don't like the fact that we all even have to be divided when it comes down to that. You a person that really speak, you said you down for black people? I am. Okay, so at the end of the day, bro, I feel what you doing right now is good to have an opinion, but you're doing more tearing down right now than helping the same community you want to help, bro.
Yeah, that's why.
Dejon then says that he doesn't care how he's being perceived because he himself knows he's not doing anything wrong.
That's why we feel like we got you on here.
And I don't care about anybody who feels like I'm tearing something down because I'm not tearing. I know in my heart. Like if you know something in your heart, you know you're not.
You just called me an employee. You insulted me.
That's not insulting you. That's
you insulted me. I'm not an employee. I'm a boss.
Later on, Trell then pointed out Dejon's beef with Gina and whether he believes he owes Gina an apology.
Dear, apology? Because the same shit you doing, bro, she been doing, as a black woman, she been doing, grinding her whole time on the scene, trying to help LA artists. That LA Cypher, a lot of people wouldn't have label deals if it wasn't for her creating that. Have no help, no nothing.
See, Gina has a problem with Dejon's way of rating rappers, saying it often pulls them down, and Gina prefers if it just lifts others up, which is understandable coming from her given how she helps out LA artists. On the other hand, Dejon has criticized Gina in the past for apparently working for a white man, which is Adam.
Right. And she's doing the same exact thing that you doing, and you
No, she's not.
You shit on her and said, damn, you work for a white man.
No,
you ignoring all the older shit she did to help most of these niggas that's on this list to even get to her.
Now, as Dejon was talking about his workshop here, he noticed Gina come into the studio, which alarmed him and prompted him to almost leave.
I had a Twitter workshop, made a flyer and everything. It has a curriculum.
Oh God.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't know I was in a joint. Interview with Gina. So I didn't know I was doing a joint interview with Gina. You asked me to pull up and talk to you.
No, we gonna talk to
that's good. Gina,
that's
good.
This is unprofessional, Miss Gina, because I didn't ask.
Trell and AD did their best to calm everyone down here, and although Gina insisted she was cool, Trell and AD knew Dejon would leave if Gina stayed, so they pacified Gina and asked her to leave so they could finish speaking with Dejon. Gina did leave, and the interview continued without a hitch. While a previous moment had the host ask another host to leave, this one had the host ask the guest to leave. And we're talking about an episode when the very famous actress Madison Morgan came on as a guest on Shark Tank. You see, Madison came into this interview with a very specific goal in mind. In fact, she reached out to Sharp personally.
So I had to ask you, why was it that you wanted to come and get on the Shark Tank? And you had told me that you wanted to humanize yourself.
That is correct.
Now, knowing Sharp, you know he's gonna ask straightforward and tough questions so that he can get to the bottom of things. Once he knew what Madison's goal was, he started asking hard-hitting questions.
Do you want to humanize about yourself?
Ah, loaded question. Loaded question.
It's gonna open up a lot of doors.
Ah.
I mean, that's what we do. You ask a question and it opens up a ton of doors.
Well, I think the first thing I'd like to start off with is I luckily have a wonderful family. And I think that
Does your family know you do a lot of drugs?
That I do drugs?
Yeah, you do drugs. Because I know that you do a lot of drugs.
What are drugs? Drugs are bad.
And from this point on, Sharp wasted no time getting to the darker details here. Madison was clearly taken aback by how suddenly Sharp asked her that drug-related question. And while she tried to deflect and deny, Sharp knew better, and he wanted her to be honest, so he pushed further.
Just your work, we'll get to that point. I know what you do just as narcotics. I know what you've done on your birthday. I've seen a video of you on your birthday.
A video?
A video of you on your birthday where you had the little baton, the little happy birthday joint on top of your head, and you were sitting there, and you were sitting, no, it ain't about no joints, and you were sitting there just nodding at the table.
Madison tried to play off the video Sharp was referring to by saying she was only on weed at the time, and that she wasn't on narcotics. But again, he saw right through her.
Ketamine was in the mix.
Ooh!
That's crazy.
So that story is wildly
ketamine was in the mix.
Wildly exaggerated.
Was it?
Yes.
Or was it true?
Parts of it are true.
Parts of it are true. The cat or the mean? I mean, like
what's true about it then?
Listen, I'll tell you all day long. I like to party.
You like to party.
I sure do.
Sharp's goal here was to get Madison to be honest, which is something she'll have to do more often if she wanted to be humanized. And not once did he go easy on her. He explained this to her, hoping that she would finally be honest with them.
My part is this, you know, I've never really seen, and I'm not here to knock you, I'm just trying to, we're humanizing.
Sure.
So I'm trying to understand, baby, when do you let the drugs go so you can actually start humanizing yourself? Because that's what you want to do. You got to probably let go of the hard narcotics. Yeah, now it's easy to be like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That don't sound right.
And when Madison still wouldn't get straight with Sharp, he took it a step further, which made Madison visibly nervous.
Right. But keep in mind, though, I know the exact story you heard, and keep in mind,
I saw it, though. I got to see it. So it's a difference than me just sitting there hearing it from somebody versus, do you want me to pull up the video? Should I pull up the video right here?
Pull up that video.
I'm just saying, I'll pull up the video right here.
Please do not pull up the video.
Oh, okay, so we don't need to boo each other.
Please, sir, please don't pull up that video.
I won't as long as you don't boo. I'm not gonna pull it up as long as you just keep it real and say, yeah, I did do that.
Did Sharp cross the line here? Maybe. I mean, pulling up a private video of someone doing something incriminating just to prove a point is pushing it just a little bit. Just kidding, that's pretty bad. But hey, Sharp proved a point nonetheless, and it made Madison decide to be honest with him.
I saw it. Your birthday,
Yes.
right? It was your birthday. You were at dinner.
No, it was not my birthday.
It wasn't around it. I'll at least say that. It wasn't around your birthday.
It was around my birthday. Yes.
Okay, so it was for your birthday. We know this.
No, it was not for my birthday. It's for a friend's birthday party.
It's for a friend's birthday party.
Yes.
And what narcotics were you on that day? Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
That's it?
You have to admit, Sharp went through the trenches just to finally get Madison to start telling the truth. Unfortunately though, that was all for nothing because throughout the interview, she remained deceptive or non-receptive whenever she was told facts or was asked tough questions. One example of this was when Sharp asked Madison why she thinks she isn't as popular as some of the biggest names in the industry.
You have done porn, you've done things like that, you've been in the industry, right?
Yes, sir.
Haven't had the greatest rapport.
Rapport?
Yeah, you haven't had the greatest rapport. You haven't had the, the greatest name from, other chicks that have been in the industry that have dealt with you. Right? It's okay.
They don't tell me that to my face, but yeah.
Sharp merely pointed out a fact and she took offense to it. She then answered this question by telling a long drawn out story about something that happened to her on Halloween. She told how she went to a concert with some dude while they were high and things went absolutely haywire for her. The guy was being a jerk to her, he started being aggressive, and she wanted to get away from him and all that. Sharp cut her off as she was telling the story to say that she placed herself in that predicament, essentially giving her the chance to take responsibility for her choices rather than always assigning blame to others. I mean, after all, she wanted to be humanized during that interview, and Sharp gave her that chance. But she kept being defensive and combative.
What are you doing? At that point, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, I get people want to have fun and do shit like that.
Right.
But look, even to hear you say, how old are you?
28 years old.
28 years old? When them is gonna turn into the answer to them?
Would you let me finish my story, please?
Man, but I'm trying to really figure it out because the story's taking us nowhere.
Would you
but
let
the
me finish
story's
my
taking us nowhere.
Okay.
So Madison continued her story anyway, and it was basically just her saying she went to a party with a guy and he was not very nice, and that's why she's not as successful as the other girls in the film world. If you think that doesn't make sense, Sharp thought so too.
That's dragging. Don't you okay me neither. Like, okay. No, because that's some bullshit. Because you and I both know you grown as fuck. You and I both know you put yourself in them positions. It wasn't just him. You put yourself in that predicament because you already probably knew what you was dealing with. You're not dumb.
At this point, Madison herself started to feel frustrated at Sharp.
That's how that part, and they left. And they left you.
Of
These were
course
your friends?
Listen.
These your friends?
Sir, please stop interrupting.
You ain't talking to the police. No, there ain't no interrupting nothing.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure it
All right,
out.
well, if you wanna talk, I'll let you talk.
You called me. So I'm trying to figure out where can we humanize you at? Because you have to really get past the bullshit that you really own. You haven't blamed yourself in not a piece of it.
Sharp then tried to give Madison an example of taking responsibility for one's action, but Madison wasn't having it anymore.
I'll give you an example, okay? Look at me. Don't roll your eyes. We ain't in, come on. I ain't your teacher. You ain't in class. You gotta roll your mother eyes.
It is my best attempt to be patient.
To be patient for what?
Towards you.
Why?
Sharp then tried telling her if she wants to be more humanized, which is why she went on this interview in the first place, she's gonna have to blame herself for the things she gets into as well.
Bash. I'm trying to figure out when do you blame yourself for it? Because you have to at some point. That's my game for you. I'm talking about really blame yourself, to look at it like, well, damn, if I probably wouldn't have went with this man, yeah, I'm not gonna f him no more.
Well, sir.
If you watched the Sharp interview before, you know this guy can be aggressive. I mean, you just saw it happen a couple of times. And he often cuts off his guests and takes time to prove his point. So Madison pointed that out.
You haven't also given me a chance to answer your question.
I've been sitting back the entire time just listening. I can only go so long to where I gotta pick up the pace so it's not dull.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Well, I'm waiting for you to ask the question. You are the interviewer.
And with that, Sharp asked the question, but Madison's answer here just proved to him that she was still assigning blame to others.
When do you start to blame yourself?
Should have picked better company.
Better company?
Yes.
Yeah. Can always blame the company because you keep choosing the company.
Yes.
You keep choosing the company, so you can't always blame them. You invited them in.
Yes,
You opened the door.
Yes, I did.
Okay then.
Sharp then noticed that Madison wasn't being receptive anymore, so he called her out.
So why even try to keep looking at me like I'm telling you something dumb, or you keep trying to sit there and put your eyes down and try to do all this little weird shit, Nemo? What's wrong with you?
Nemo?
You remind me of a little fish.
I like Finding Nemo.
A little fish.
I like Finding Nemo.
I was being honest. Dude, no, I see you, Trell.
Sharp then told her that maybe the best thing for her at that point was to reevaluate herself.
You might, look, the realest game I can give you, reevaluate yourself sometimes. I've had to do it, mama. Even if it breaks you down. It's broken me down. You ain't nothing different. You ain't nobody different.
And what makes you think I haven't done the same?
And when Madison responded to that non-receptively, well, see what Sharp had to say right to her face.
You got a shitty ass way about you. You like to just kind of like mosey along, you know what I'm saying? And think that shit's gonna work for you because everybody got the wool pulled over their eyes. See, you try to sit there and you try to do hoodwinks to people. Try to hoodwink them.
So Sharp just gave her a dose of reality. He broke down what Madison was doing throughout the interview. She told stories that made her look good and the others around her looked bad. And when she didn't like it, she got called out for it.
I get it, you're very prideful. You want to blame the next person. I get it, I've been there.
If you say so.
If I say so, no, I know so.
Okay.
I see it in your eyes. I've looked like that before.
Okay.
Just trying to get through it.
Okay.
Flocko then pointed out here how unreceptive Madison was being, which derailed this whole thing further.
She's not really receptive, man. Like,
not at all.
No, like at all.
Not at all. And
Yeah.
I'm really trying to like give the game
course.
to it. Like, hey, I just want to
Of
see you.
course.
Like, you got to start to like, we got to do it for us first.
Of course.
To make it. But you want to be a maggot about it.
And at this point, Flocko and Sharp realized the interview wasn't going anywhere.
Okay.
That be the problem.
Okay.
Man.
Wait, what
Church,
is this, right?
Go ahead and ask another
Right?
question. And you know what? We will respectfully.
Of course.
We will respectfully not waste any more of your time. Because I feel like we're probably wasting your time at this point, correct?
However you feel.
Right.
Despite that, Flocko still tried to ask her genuine questions in hope of saving the interview.
If you're 28 years old, right?
Yeah.
Probably broke and not doing well, you feel me, like with a shit name. Why not be receptive to a man who females come and pay for some game?
Right.
Beg for some game. And you're getting like an hour of this man's time to just have enough game.
I'm also not broke, thank you.
I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you're broke, baby.
You walked up the block, you were hot.
Yeah, bro, like, you're broke, baby.
And that pretty much urged Sharp to cut this interview off, seeing as they were going absolutely nowhere with Madison.
We no longer, I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
We no longer wish to speak to you. And I'm going to tell you this,
No
baby.
problem.
Hey, and it's not a problem at all. We love you, baby, and we wish you the
No, you
best.
do not.
The Sharp Tank, no jumper. Sharpest, coolest podcast in the world, and we better keep these maggots up off the stage. We love you, baby. Be safe, church.
This interview is one of the less aggressive instances of heated moments for sure, but it still goes to show that if you want to be interviewed by Sharp, you better be honest and you better acknowledge when he's making a good point, even though he says it in a very aggressive and insensitive way. Trell then brought up what the pair thought of AZ Chike, a rapper who had beef with Drakeo.
So how y'all feel about, you know what I'm saying, this AZ Chike, you know what I'm saying, his recent comments of what that was saying?
He been got kicked off.
Yeah.
Next victim. Who's next?
It ain't much to talk about. It's just, yeah.
Nigga, cornball.
Hey, they really trying the young kids like we finna fold up here or something. No.
Nah, it ain't. I'm just
naming nerds like a motherfucker.
I'm just saying.
So OTM didn't really want to indulge in any questions that had anything to do with Inglewood or with Drakeo's death throughout the interview. The answer they kept repeating was, "We know the truth," which was confusing as hell to Trell because he had no idea what they were talking about.
I mean, do we really gotta explain it? I mean, it's
Draco ran LA.
We know the truth. Like, you
If
feel me?
we can admit that, then it's really self-explanatory.
I don't know the truth, so tell me.
Despite being asked questions they didn't want to entertain, OTM thankfully kept their cool, and the rest of the interview went perfectly normal. Now, the next heated no jumper moment was an in-house conflict between Trell and Josh, who had tensions following a company trip to Vegas, where Trell found himself without a bed to sleep on. Trell then caused a scene at the studio later and pointed fingers at Josh. So, during this episode, the crew gave Josh a chance to explain.
Josh, speak your piece, man.
That was it.
So most of what you said, especially at the end, is true. You coming in here, you acknowledge like how out of line that was as a boss, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So you admitted that you did some shit wrong, and I'll definitely admit that there was one thing in this that I did wrong. but I'm not gonna let you keep painting this narrative that this all was fucked up for you.
Josh then laid out a series of events that led up to the Vegas trip and the fact that everything was prepared for everyone.
1, there was a group chat where I laid out the entire itinerary.
You didn't lay out no itinerary.
Wait, let him talk.
You didn't lay out no itinerary.
Tiny good, let him talk, because he gave you your time, and we're going to sit there and
okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I told everyone in the group chat when we were leaving, where we were leaving from, where we were staying.
Okay.
All right.
I knew that too. That's why I went there.
Shut up, Kyle. Let him talk.
I mean, that's why I flew there.
Let him talk.
It's awesome how AD reprimanded T-Rel here when he attempted to speak over Josh. Just shows how he wanted everyone to be on the same page. And there's one thing that Josh took accountability for here, and that's the fact that he didn't assign rooms to everyone.
Talk,
days in advance, I told everyone in there, y'all can figure out your rooms. I'm not telling you who you need to room with. I made it perfectly clear in this group chat that no room was assigned. And you know what? I take ownership. That might have been the one spot I fucked up by not assigning you a room coming later, and I will own that.
With that out of the way, Josh then reminded T-Rel that the plan was very transparent from the get-go because they explained everything on the group chat. Josh then reiterated that he had disliked the fact that T-Rel got mad because he thought he was being kept in the dark.
So I want you to stop playing this narrative that you were left in the dark and none of this shit was planned out. You knew we were at the movies, you knew when we were coming back, you knew what hotel we were at. You had people in the group chat offering to pick you up at the airport.
T-Rel then explained that he wasn't mad at the fact he was kept in the dark, rather, he was angry for a very simple reason. He had no room to sleep in.
I'm not painting a narrative that I was left in the dark. I'm painting a narrative that was true. So I got to the hotel and I had no room.
After this, Josh and T-Rel's back and forth got a little bit more heated. Josh kept pointing out that he didn't leave instructions for everyone, and T-Rel just wanted to point out that he came to Josh because he was the right person to address his hotel room issue. When they were done with this exchange, Josh then explained why he got so ticked off at T-Rel, particularly at how he handled this entire situation.
You held office for 3 days, you held it in,
and I didn't.
And then you came in here in the worst way possible when you could have taken me anywhere else, and you talked literally with every employee here like a boss, man.
But I told the only Adam was here.
Yeah, but you were acting like an asshole.
You
were not acting like a.
I was.
In all fairness to T-Rel, he did acknowledge that he was being an asshole going up to everyone like that when he could have just talked to Josh directly. After acknowledging where he went wrong though, he took his turn speaking aside, and a heated exchange between the two ensued once again.
I am a motherfucking talent on this fucking platform. I didn't have a bed.
You didn't know
I didn't
what
sleep
bed was
in
yours.
the fucking bed.
You didn't know what bed
Did
was
you
yours?
call me and tell me I had a bed?
Yes.
Did you call me and check on me? Did you call me and tell me?
I called you as soon as the movie was over, which you knew we were all at.
T-Rel then explained how he would have laid out the itinerary so that what happened to him wouldn't have happened, but as he was speaking, Josh kept saying that that's exactly what he did, except for the part where he assigned rooms to everyone. Josh felt he didn't feel the need to assign rooms to everyone because he thought they were all adults going to assign rooms for themselves, which further angered T-Rel.
The point man. If I'm a point man and I'm a boss, I'm gonna lay down the itinerary all the way down in scenic. You feel me? Like this is where we're at. This is the hotel. This is the number. This is who's rooming with each other. This is how many rooms. This is how many rooms that we have. No, this is not about adults. This is how you do this correctly.
Wait, hold on.
It's not about adults. This is how you do it correctly.
T-Rel then went on a rant, saying how he's not a kid at all, and if he gets invited somewhere in the future, everything needs to be laid out perfectly for him since he's a boss.
I'm not a motherfucking look. I'm not no motherfucking kid. You feel me? I don't gotta play with you niggas around. I don't gotta go to no trip group. Don't never invite me to this crip on West Side Hoover. I'm never going nowhere else. I don't give a f. You feel me? Point period blank. And if you invite me somewhere, since I'm a boss, nigga, have my shit correctly in motherfucking order. Nigga, period. That's all I'm asking, nigga.
T-Rel also pointed out that he's gotten more upset at the situation because no one checked up on him even though everyone knew he had a problem.
Niggas didn't check on me, Grove, and everybody in this motherfucker knew I had a motherfucking problem. And everybody was trying to take care of me. And everybody thought it was cool because that's what I would have did for y'all. I would have never let none of you niggas out here hanging, period.
That's true.
After T-Rail aired out his frustrations, which were immense, mind you, he had finally cooled down again to the point where the guys were able to go back to joking with each other. AD also joked with him, saying that if T-Rail did to him what he had done to Josh, he would have messed him up.
You come at me like that, I'm gonna beat your ass, Tiny girl.
I damn near was at you like that in the hallway, though.
Hey, and I said I had to correct your ass. I said,
I was
bro,
in the hallway with you.
We would have boxed that shit up, and I would have got your.
And you were trying to give me a room, and I'm still hollering at you.
Because I love you.
However, they ended this section by letting T-Rail and Josh bury the hatchet and hug it out, like two bros who squashed the beef. So everything was good in No Jumper once again.
I fuck with you, Josh, man. I fuck with you, Josh, man.
I want to do something. Josh, come over here. I want Josh and T-Rail to hug. His brotherhood. Come on. This is hug and shit. Come on. Y'all get over here.
Man, go, man, get your white ass over here, man. Give you a hug, man.
Give a kiss. There you go. Yeah.
While this episode did get heated a little bit, it was mostly just a quarrel between friends and nothing more. It had to be talked about so that everyone could go back to being friends again. I'm just glad they did that on camera because that was entertaining. Our next interview is one that Adam himself hosted, and in this one, he spoke with Bang Gang Lonnie and Mazo. Although things didn't really get that heated, Adam slowly irritated Bang Gang Lonnie throughout this interview, especially when he went on his trademark incriminating line of questioning.
So Lonnie, I feel like you are like low-key mad at me, but if you want to admit it or not, because I had somebody that you do not care for on this podcast.
Adam was referring to FWC Big Key, a rapper both Bang Gang, Mazo, and Lonnie were beefing with at the time. Adam thinks Lonnie was mad at him for having Key on a No Jumper a year before this interview, but they just pretended to not care.
I didn't watch that shit, bro.
Oh, you didn't see
You
it?
don't give no attention.
He mentions
no
a Lonnie and I
bitch.
Bang Gang Lonnie, he just laughs. Nah. Key! Dude, your single's about him.
We don't even know him.
His name's in the song.
I just made a name. I just made a song about a name that. I don't
Well, there's
know
some
that
other
punk.
people named Key too that you should probably be worried about because they're gonna think it's about them.
Literally.
Mazo's sarcastic laugh here perfectly captured how both Bang Gang rappers were feeling at this very moment. If that wasn't enough, Adam then tried to instigate the beef further by bringing up the time Lonnie DM'd him, talking smack to Big Key.
I thought didn't you DM me and said he was a bitch or something?
What?
Okay. Should we edit that out?
Adam was definitely bluffing here. He just said what he said, hoping Lonnie would say something bad about Key. Instead, Lonnie asked him to provide proof of the alleged DM that he supposly sent.
We don't care
You
about
said
that.
something
Go
to me.
your fucking DMs.
Okay. You want me to check? You said something
Man.
about that. Oh man.
We don't care about that.
Maybe you got your Instagram deleted.
My Instagram deleted. No, you just
No, it's
slow
still
as hell,
around.
boy.
All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it like
making
so
narratives and
fast.
shit. No, we don't get mad about that shit. What you mean? How we gonna get mad about that?
Adam then dropped his facade and admitted he was lying about the DM.
This is your job.
Look at this. Okay.
This is what you get paid to do.
I lied. It's not in there. It might have been somebody else.
Not getting anything out of that, Adam just went on with the interview. As the interview progressed, Lonnie started looking more and more disinterested and irritated at Adam, while Mazo kept his cool and was relatively responsive. Later on in this interview, Adam asked Lonnie another incriminating question, which he really didn't like.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. That's around the time you got too?
No, I got shot last year.
Okay. What happened in that situation?
Shit, man, got shot in Vegas.
Yeah, where were you at though?
Both Lonnie and Mazo were staring daggers at Adam here. You could tell these guys really didn't like this question. Lonnie remained silent, but Mazo carried on the conversation by answering nonchalantly.
Riding around and got the shooting. That's it.
It happened while you were driving? You weren't parked?
Riding around and got the shooting, Adam.
You just heard about it or you were around?
Hey, I don't know nothing. He was just riding around and got the shit.
Right.
We don't know no details of the shit.
Adam just didn't cast the drift here that these guys didn't really want to talk about this anymore. Either that or he just didn't care. So he kept prying on this topic.
Who you got problems with in Vegas though?
I ain't got problems with nobody.
So it was random?
He's a rapper.
Right.
You know? I might think you looked at a bitch wrong and want to do something to you. He a rapper, man. That's what happens when you one of the latest niggas in the world. You feel me? Shit like that might happen. Hate rappers.
Right.
You know that.
Damn.
Maybe realizing he wasn't going to get anything out of these two about that story, Adam decided to move on.
Don't be a rapper, I guess. You don't want to get shot at.
Nah, you feel me?
Sweet Jesus, that's scary. Okay, so I guess that's all we're getting out of that.
If you think Adam was going to stop asking them anything incriminating after that, then you thought wrong. Because later on, Adam asked the duo about their relationship with Ice Burgundy, a rapper from LA who's also rumored to be a pimp.
What's going on with Ice Burgundy? You still hang out with him?
Yeah, that's my big bro.
Adam then brought up Ice Burgundy's pimping venture, which prompted Lonnie to tell him that he sounded like police asking questions like that.
It said you met him pimping in Texas?
Yeah.
Explain.
You already had this explanation on our last interview.
Did I? It's been a while.
You sound like the police.
If it was back in the day, then who cares?
Every question you didn't ask me, you've been like a detective coming to ask me what the fuck.
Mazo then pointed out here that incriminating someone like that can put them away for life, which is why Adam must be careful when it comes to asking questions like that.
Said in other interviews.
You get life for pimping.
Really?
Hell, fuck yeah. That's just for future reference. Don't ever ask nobody about pimping. For real. If he decide to tell you that, you go ahead, elaborate on it. But
our next no jumper intense moment comes from OG Q-Side, who got particularly pissed off at Flocko at one point for speaking on a controversial matter on his Instagram. See, what happened here was Flocko called American Cholo out on Instagram for making racist comments and saying the word on camera quite a few times. This made OG Q-Side angry because apparently when Cholo's people came back to confront him, he was nowhere to be found and AD had to step in to defend him.
Specifically posting shit that's offensive to a mass of people that could bring shit that can create an issue where it's gonna be gunplay or somebody lose their life, and this dude is not gonna be around to participate in nothing. He's going back to North Dakota on some fuck shit.
Throughout this interview, Adam stepped in and said that Flocko shouldn't catch flack for simply reporting on a newsworthy event, i.e. American Cholo saying something racist on camera. He shouldn't be held back just because of the potential repercussions, because what he did was something journalists are supposed to do.
But I don't think our standard for what's news should be if it pisses somebody off, because everything's gonna piss somebody off. And I have tons of relationships that have basically gone away because at some point somebody was upset about something that we posted. In that case, I think it's kind of unreasonable to think that Flocko would have assumed that him posting about that would have been such a big deal when that is the kind of thing that gets posted all the time.
OG Kusai then insinuated that Flocko didn't report on the news for the sake of journalistic integrity. He posted it because he's a clout chaser.
But when you out here clout chasing,
but how is that clout chasing?
Flocko's a clout chaser.
That may be true, but I still think that him bringing that up was valid.
No, he's trying to pretty much create a lane for him kind of fast. I need to blow up big.
OG Kusai also reiterated that his whole thing with Flocko isn't because he reported on something. It's because whenever something he reports comes back to bite him, he hides and lets other people fight his battles for him. A few minutes into this interview, Flocko called in to defend his side, and Adam being on his side created a lot of tension that was already flooding in this room at this point.
I was not being messy, right? I was not clout chasing. That's all false, bro. That post was gonna go up regardless. I was just the first one to post it.
I mean, I agree with you. I thought that it was newsworthy, and I think that the idea that you were like intentionally inciting a race war or whatever, I mean, it's a little bit of a leap, let's be real.
Not liking what he heard from Flocko, OG Kusai then told him to speak to him in person. And let's just say, he wasn't very friendly or welcoming when he said that.
And if you want to talk to me, you could talk to me in person tomorrow, because I'll be here. No, I'll see you tomorrow. We could talk in person. To me, can't nobody change how I feel, and I'm gonna speak my mind, homie.
Flocko tried to cut him off here, but he wasn't done letting Flocko know what he thought of him.
Look, let me talk. You over talking right now. You over talking. Sit your ass back and let me speak. You a clout chaser in my eyes, homie. Straight out. And when the shit hit the fan, you ain't with none of the bullshit. You gonna run home.
Q-Side then got more and more heated as he reminded Flocko how AD always hopped in to defend him. He did it with the 16 shot him situation, and he did it again with the American Cholo situation.
Stand on your own 10 toes. When the shit hit the fan, don't have my nephew in the middle of something. Cause if something happened to my nephew, you ain't gonna come around. You gonna go back to North Dakota, homie. While we out here taking care of business, you ain't gonna be nowhere around. You gonna be hiding and calling like a mouse. And if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me in person. And I mean that. Homie, my nephew, this is the second time he stood up for you.
Since they're a part of the No Jumper family, and then he pointed out that posting that news wasn't an individual decision, but a No Jumper team situation, which pretty much meant he became the scapegoat of the issue. And when AD stepped in to tell Flocko it was his decision to post the story, Adam jumped in and corrected him.
That was you, right?
No, that's not true. Flocko had no special involvement. It was just posted.
That's what was told to me.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Flocko was the one who physically posted it, but everybody involved agreed that this was newsworthy. It obviously was newsworthy because WorldStar posted it and a lot of other places.
Adam then continued to defend Flocko, telling AD and Q-Side to stop being so hard on him for simply doing his job.
You guys are coming so hard on Flocko about something that he could have never possibly expected to happen. He was calling out something that was objectively newsworthy. I just think you guys are being a little harsh towards him about really something that he's just doing his job.
Really not. Well,
Q-Side then continued to argue that this was about the consequences of Flocko's reporting, which Adam outright dismissed.
What about when it hit the fan? Is he willing to participate?
But it's not about the consequences. It's about.
But it really is about the consequences.
Did he do something wrong? What did he do wrong?
It's about the consequences.
What did he do wrong?
Not here to hold his grounds when they pulled up here to talk.
So none of this got too bad in the end, and Flocko and OG Q-Side ended up reconciling. So while things definitely got heated here, it's not as controversial as our next No Jumper moment. The next No Jumper moment also got a little bit heated, mainly because it involved faith and cultural beliefs. While their initial conversation centered around how Kim Kardashian allowed her kids to use TikTok, they eventually got to how kids wear certain makeup on Halloween that evokes somewhat devilish imagery.
Whatever she wants to do on TikTok, she's the queen of social media. She basically invented
but why
it.
would you want? So if you're the queen of social media, you understand the effects of it more than anything. Why wouldn't you want to shelter your kid from that until they're at an appropriate age to be able to really process what's going on?
I would assume that she's probably sheltering her from certain elements of TikTok. She she let her make a video to a bad MGK song wearing some goth makeup.
Yeah, but you don't see how that's a problem for a little girl.
AD then pointed out that this kind of imagery is associated with gothic things, which apparently derives from devilry.
What do you think is bad about it?
I mean, what is gothic shit derives from? It's like devil shit.
You never did Halloween as a kid? You can't wear fucking ghoulish face paint?
I didn't wear gothic shit, but I'm just saying, gothic shit
I love
is
how
derived.
this all of a sudden you've just decided that that's inappropriate. I don't feel like if we had this conversation, if we had this conversation 2 weeks ago, there's no way that you would have said that that was inappropriate for a little kid to wear makeup.
From here, the conversation between AD and Adam went left. AD accused Adam of speaking out of turn, while Adam kept insisting that AD wasn't making sense at all.
This guy asked me a question,
face
and
paint
your dumb ass went in
now.
and spoke out of turn.
No, spoke out of turn. I'm pretty sure this is a podcast.
He asked me a question.
This is a podcast.
Did he ask Adam a question or did he ask me a question?
What was the question?
He said, "How do you feel as a parent?" You said, "Yeah, I don't wear like a gothic."
Okay, answer the question now. But I like how you don't want to deal with I like how you don't want to deal with the fact that I'm making more sense with you, so you start saying I'm speaking out of turn.
Because if I did that to you, you'd be like,
out of turn.
All the while, the two kept speaking over each other while their voices got louder and louder.
He's just talking out of his ass. I'm making a very good point. Deal with what I'm actually saying. That a kid wearing face paint is not at all out of line or offensive.
We said gothic, you dick.
How is it gothic?
He's singing a song about gothic, dumbass.
I'm in love with an emo girl is a gothic song. You're the first person who has ever said that.
Yes, very intense battle happening here between Adam and AD on the dangers of gothic music apparently. The discussion then proceeded towards popular costumes of choice for Halloween and how some choices are demonic while some are not.
So your whole life when you got dressed up for Halloween, that was like you putting on a gothic uniform all of a sudden?
Me being a teenage mutant ninja turtle is not the same as me dressing up like a
ghost. Dressing up like a ghost on Halloween or whatever is pretty normal.
Is she dressing up like a ghost?
She wasn't dressed.
That's what I got from that face paint. It didn't look like she was trying to dress like fucking Marilyn Manson.
Can we agree to? I mean, that's kind of what the vibe was.
Exactly.
Housephone then pointed out that this matter is more serious for black people since they're wary of anything related to the devil.
I mean, emo. What like
what's wrong with emo?
Black people think anything that is not godly is the opposite.
And I told him
I fell in love with an emo girl.
I told him that earlier.
That's inappropriate.
To black people, emo means slit your wrist. It means worshiping the devil.
Yes.
Bro, literally.
And see,
there is no way that black people actually think that emo means slitting your wrist. Bro.
AD and Housephone then reprimanded Adam, saying he had no idea what he was talking about because he's not black, and that he shouldn't presume to know more about their culture than they did. Adam AD then went on a tirade on how the former was putting words in their mouth. Everything got more unhinged as these two debated the ethics of emo music.
I think you guys and I, we need to define emo, and I don't know if now is the time to do it.
Your term of
you're pretty
emo
much
is
just
not the
putting
same as
everything
ours.
under the umbrella. Your daughter DMing No Jumper fans, emo. Slit
No,
her
I
wrist,
never said that.
emo.
You a
Face
goddamn
paint,
lie. Don't
emo.
fucking-
How
don't
is that
fucking
not
put that
all
on my
emo?
kid, fool.
I'm in love, emo.
Don't put that on my
All
kid
those
because I didn't
things
say
are
that.
emo.
Now you putting words in my mouth.
What?
I didn't say DM and No Jumper fans is emo. I'm talking about when she's saying that I want to die and and my family is doing this. I'm considered that as emo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't.
Seeing that things were getting intense, Housefone then stepped in and put things into perspective once again by saying Adam may not know enough about their culture to speak on it.
We'll agree on that.
I understand you come from a different culture, so you can't fathom.
He can't wrap his head around. Oh my God, black people looking like this.
Adam then rebutted that it's not just about how black people view the matter, it's about whether the whole thing was okay or not.
It doesn't matter. What matters, what we should be talking about, is not how black people in general feel about it, but if it's okay or not. And I think it's perfectly fine.
And without acknowledging what Adam had just said, AD then jumped at Adam for, once again, speaking out of turn, which reverted the two back to their previous argument.
Asked me a question and you jumped out of turn and gave your opinion about
So again, instead of talking about the actual idea that I'm talking about, you're going to accuse me of speaking out of turn.
If he asked you a question, I'm going to shut the fuck up and wait until you finish.
Actually, I feel like we all kind of talk regardless of who gets asked the question.
We definitely do that.
Seeing that Adam and AD just kept going back to previous arguments, Housefone overtook the conversation in an attempt to move it forward.
I don't know. Her aunt, maybe?
We're going in circles, guys. Look, I don't think that even the face paint or the song, I think the main issue is like her being a kid, her being subjected to the type of stuff that her mom, the aunts, and all that stuff are subjected to on a daily.
And from here, the conversation shifted into another topic, the trauma for Kim and Kanye's kid in regards to how Kanye has been acting on social media, which sparked another debate among the group.
Whatever she's dealing with on TikTok can't possibly be as bad as the way that she must feel knowing that her dad is talking about her on Instagram and saying all these terrible things.
What is he saying that's so terrible?
Trying to be a good parent is terrible.
Think about him threatening and saying all this awful shit
about her mom's boyfriend. Why would the did she give a fuck about that?
Why would she care about the guy that is basically now her probably main?
In response to Adam's comments on this, AD and Housefone stepped in and said there's no one who will replace Kanye as North's father, no matter who her mom dates, which definitely is true. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Check out my channel if you like this video, and see you next time. Bye.